The Ancient Divine Sect System, Part 5. Dragon King. When Qin Feiyu heard the word Dragon King, his eyes widened and the broom in his hand fell to the ground. In the dragon race, only those with extremely strong powers can be called Dragon Kings. Doesn't this mean that this Dragon King must have the strength of rank 7 or rank 8? In his mind, a rank 7 or rank 8 dragon race is already an extremely terrifying existence. I dare not guess further than that. The Dragon King looked at Qin Feiyu and nodded slightly. Young man, you have great sword Dao talent. You will definitely become a strong sword Dao master in the future. Remember to come to my place more often to clean. If I see that you are diligent, I might give you some pointers on swordsmanship. The Ice Dragon King is a proud person by nature, and he would definitely not be ashamed to do something like cleaning his own residence. So he thought about getting along well with Qin Feiyu and asking him to help him clean the house and do some chores. Qin Feiyu smiled innocently. Thank you, Senior Dragon King. If you need anything in the future, just let me know. I will definitely help you clean up your place. The Dragon King smiled and nodded his head. Young man, you have a bright future. Although I don't know much about Sword Dao, I can give you some pointers so that the problem won't be too big. Thank you, Senior Dragon King. Qin Feiyun smiled naively again. Just let me know where you live, Senior. In his opinion, everyone who joins Sacred Land is his predecessor. It is also reasonable to help them clean and do some chores in their residence. Wang Yi saw this scene but did not say anything to stop it. If the Dragon King wants to get along well with these disciples, there will definitely be some bumps and bruises. After more contact, the relationship will naturally improve. Qin Feiyu is kind by nature. He will definitely help the Dragon King do something, so there is no point in him stopping him now. As long as it doesn't affect the practice of Sword Dao, it's fine. Okay, Jiang Rushue, follow me to the Absolute Beginning Hall. As he spoke, Wang Yi brought the Dragon King and Jiang Rushue to the Absolute Beginning Hall. He took Jiang Rushue into the ancestral temple, performed the ceremony of 3 kowtows and 9 bows, and then formally accepted her as his disciple. Wang Yi said with a smile, Jiang Rushue, you have the blood of the extreme Ice Dragon Emperor. After joining the Holy Land of Absolute Beginning, you can become an outer disciple. Jiang Rushue was stunned. My qualifications can only make me an outer disciple. She had not expected that in the Holy Land of Absolute Beginning, the requirements for disciples were so strict that even the emperor body could only become an outer disciple. How strong should the qualifications of the inner disciples be? It's really hard to imagine. Yes, sir. Jiang Rushue didn't say anything else, but chose to follow Wang Yi's arrangements. She knew that Wang Yi was extremely powerful. There must be a reason behind such behavior and arrangement. As long as I can join the Holy Land of Absolute Beginning, even if I become an outer disciple, I will be satisfied. Just after accepting the disciple, a reminder sounded in Wang Yi's mind. Ding! You accept Jiang Rushue as an outer disciple. Your qualifications meet the entry requirements. You will receive a reward, the Dragon Gift Pack. Open. Ding! You opened the Dragon Gift Pack and received the reward, Ancient Dragon Transformation Pool. A bottle of Emperor Dragon's blood. Consciousness enters the system world. On the open space, there appeared a pool with a diameter of 100 feet, with dragon chi rising above it. Ancient Dragon Transformation Pool, injected with dragon blood, can help dragon race bloodline people quickly improve their bloodline power. The effect of the dragon blood added is increased tenfold. When upgrading, the bloodline promotion will be extremely stable, and there will be no unstable foundation or obsession. Wang Yi's eyes lit up. This dragon transformation pool is a good thing. The effect of dragon blood can be increased tenfold. This is definitely a powerful effect. Dragon race is rare, and obtaining dragon blood is very difficult. With the dragon transformation pool, the blood of 1 dragon can be used as that of 10. Greatly increased the utilization rate of dragon blood. Especially the rare essence and blood, every drop of it is extremely precious. Using the Ancient Dragon Transformation Pool can also increase the effect tenfold. I believe that with this Ancient Dragon Transformation Pool, Jiang Rushue's bloodline will be promoted very quickly. With a casual move, he took the jade bottle, opened the red wooden stopper, and a powerful dragon chi spurted out from the bottle mouth. Dragon Chi formed the shadow of an emperor dragon in the sky, roaring towards the sky. The terrifying dragon power made Wang Yi feel palpitations. This is the blood pressure of the emperor dragon. Sure enough, it's very strong. He is currently only a great emperor first layer. If he encounters a rank 14 emperor dragon, it will be extremely difficult to deal with him. You might even lose. In the same level, dragon race has an absolute advantage in strength. There are a total of 100 drops of emperor dragon's blood in the jade bottle. If absorbed using the dragon transformation pool, it is equivalent to 1,000 drops, which can produce a great effect. Consciousness returns to reality. Jiang Rushue, according to the rules of the Holy Land of Absolute Beginning, all outer disciples who join can obtain 2 opportunities. This dragon race blood is yours. Wang Yi took out 10 jade bottles from the space and threw them all to Jiang Rushue. After Jiang Rushue took the jade bottle, she opened one of the bottle caps and looked inside. A bright smile immediately appeared on his face. There is a storage space inside the jade bottle. Can store liquid the size of a small lake. The entire jade bottle is filled with ice dragon's blood. When the other bottle caps were opened, they were also filled with dragon blood. Thank you, Holy Lord, for your gift. This ice dragon blood is of great benefit to the practice of martial arts and is the most needed thing right now. I didn't expect that I would get such a rich opportunity just after arriving at the Holy Land of Absolute Beginning and becoming an outer disciple. Dragon blood is an extremely precious thing. The blood of the ice dragon, the weaker ones are all of royal grade. The value of these 10 precious bottles is inestimable. Wang Yi waved his hand casually. It's just 10 bottles of dragon blood, it's nothing. Kill those ice dragons and collect all their blood. There were a total of 20 jade bottles, and these 10 jade bottles were only half of them. Giving Jiang Rushue a chance to get started is not bad. There is a dragon transformation pool, which is equivalent to 100 bottles of dragon blood, which is enough. Another opportunity is the Dragon Emperor's inheritance, which you will be able to obtain when you arrive at the inheritance hall. The inheritance of the extreme ice dragon emperor. Yang Rushue's eyes widened when she heard this. The Absolute Beginning Temple also has the Dragon Emperor's inheritance. The Extreme Ice Dragon Emperor is a type of Dragon Emperor bloodline, 1 level stronger than the Ice Dragon. When cultivated to the late stage, its strength is extremely strong. Although the Dragon Emperor's bloodline was awakened, there was no chance to obtain the Dragon Emperor's inheritance. Wang Yi nodded slightly. Previously, you opened the gift package to obtain the Divine Beast Heritage Hall, where you can obtain various inherited skills. Humans possess the bloodline of the Extreme Ice Dragon Emperor and can also obtain the inheritance. Wang Yi placed the Emperor Dragon Valley behind the Holy Land of Absolute Beginning, which was not too far away. The valley is surrounded by mountains hundreds of feet high, with only an empty entrance at the main gate. You can enter the Dragon Valley from here. After the Dragon Valley was arranged, Dragon Chi was hidden inside the valley and did not spread out. Arrange the inheritance hall of the Divine Beast next to the Dragon Valley, so that the Dragon King can look after it in the future. Wang Yi looked towards the Ice Dragon King. Now I'll take you to your residence. The Ice Dragon King nodded. Holy Lord, please find me a mountain where I can live. There is no big demand for this. Wang Yi smiled faintly. I have arranged accommodation, please follow me. As he said this, he led the Dragon King to fly towards the back of Sacred Land. When the Dragon King was flying, he felt a strong breath of dragon race in front of him. These auras are very obscure, and seem to be there and not there. Even with its strength, it is difficult to sense them. Why does this place smell like dragon race? The Dragon King was somewhat confused. Soon, Wang Yi brought Jiang Rushue and the Dragon King to the location of the Emperor Dragon Valley. The Dragon King was in the sky, and when he saw the Dragon Valley below, his pupils suddenly shrank. The dragon race vibe comes from here. Why is there a Dragon Valley in Holy Land of Absolute Beginning? Could it be that before the Holy Land of Absolute Beginning, there was a vassal force of the dragon race that established the Dragon Valley here? Generally speaking, it is very rare to find dragon race forces willing to become vassals of humans. If there are any, the strength of those dragon races would not be too strong. Rank 5 and rank 6 are almost the limit. The powerful dragon race all disdain to associate with humans. Wang Yi said, pointing to the Dragon Valley below. Xiao Bing, this will be your residence from now on. The Dragon King nodded slightly. It is already very good for it to have a dragon valley to live in. The dragon race aura in it can help you improve your strength faster. As they spoke, the two men and the dragon approached the dragon valley. Wang Yi waved his hand casually, and a gap opened up in the barrier outside the dragon valley. An extremely strong dragon race aura transformed into a mighty dragon and pounced towards several people. The Dragon King felt an extreme pressure from the dragon race. He was so scared that he fell to the ground and kowtowed to the shadow of dragon race. Jiang Rushua's face also turned pale, and her body fell to the ground like a puddle of mud. Wang Yi waved his hand lightly, and the giant dragon that was rushing towards him disappeared. What a terrifying dragon race vibe! The Dragon King exclaimed. This is the absolute pressure from blood. The bloodline that the Ice Dragon King possesses is low-level Imperial blood. And the Phantom just now was the apex-level Emperor blood. There is a huge gap between the two. Why is there such a scary dragon race vibe here? Could it be? The Dragon King stared blankly at the Dragon Valley in front of him. Is this the legendary Emperor Dragon Valley? Oh my god. How could Emperor Dragon Valley appear here? Am I seeing things? At this time, the Dragon King was completely frightened. The formation conditions of Dilong Valley are extremely harsh. There must be a rank 14, a Dragon Emperor with the strength equivalent to a Great Emperor, and the Dragon Chi gathered over 1,000 years to allow Longu to be promoted to the Emperor rank. Rank 14 Dragon Emperor, his strength is too terrifying. Moreover, this Dragon Emperor must stay in power for 1,000 years. If for 1 year the Dragon Emperor is not in the valley, the formed Dragon Chi will dissipate. Before, even if it took 900 years to condense, it would be in vain. Did a Dragon Emperor once live here? He is the great Emperor of Dragon race, and his power is terrifying. The Dragon King looked at Wang Yi and his expression became very excited. Can I live in this Emperor Dragon Valley? Wang Yi nodded slightly. Of course, this Emperor Dragon Valley is in the Holy Land of Absolute Beginning. It would be a waste of resources if there is no dragon race living in it. Since I have conquered you, you can live here from now on. Very good. The Dragon King roared with excitement. When I first arrived at the Holy Land of Absolute Beginning, I had no illusions about where I would live. I think it's good enough to be able to live on a mountain. I never thought that I would have a Dragon Valley to live in, and this Dragon Valley is Emperor rank. There are great benefits for the dragon race to live in the Emperor rank Dragon Valley. Bloodline can slowly grow under the breath of dragon race. When practicing the dragon race technique, you can get help from the Emperor Dragon's Chi and move faster. The same is true for absorbing Spirit Chi. The fusion of Spirit Chi and Emperor Dragon Chi can rapidly increase one's strength. Jiang Rushue had never expected that there would be such a terrifying place in the Holy Land of Absolute Beginning. Could it be that there was a Dragon Emperor living here before? She didn't know the history of the Holy Land of Absolute Beginning, but since this force was called Sacred Land, it must have had a glorious history. Maybe there really was a Dragon Emperor who lived here and ruled for 1,000 years. Jiang Rushue looked towards Dragon Valley. Looking at the rising Dragon Chi, his eyes were full of anticipation. If you can practice here, you can also use the Dragon Chi to improve your strength faster, and practicing martial arts will also have great benefits. Thinking of this, Jiang Rushue looked towards Wang Yi. Holy Lord, I wonder if I can practice here. Wang Yi nodded slightly. I brought you here for this very reason. There is only one dragon race practicing in this Dragon Valley. It's really a waste. Rushue, if you want to practice dragon race techniques or improve your bloodline in the future, you can come to Emperor Dragon Valley. Thank you, Holy Lord, for your gift. Jiang Rushue had a bright smile on her face, her big eyes curved into crescent shapes, and the flowers blooming next to her were eclipsed by her beauty. So exciting. When I came to the Holy Land of Absolute Beginning, I encountered such a good opportunity. Being able to practice in the Emperor Dragon Valley was something I never dared to imagine even in my dreams. The Emperor Dragon's energy here is of great benefit to the growth of her bloodline, and the speed of practicing the dragon race inherited skills will be many times faster. Wait. The Dragon King suddenly thought of something very important, and his eyes widened. Holy Lord, is it possible that there is still a Dragon Emperor living in this Dragon Valley? If the Dragon Emperor leaves, After the Emperor Dragon Valley is formed, dragon chi can condense for 1,000 years without dissipating. If the Dragon Emperor stayed in the Dragon Valley for a long time, this time could continue indefinitely. Wang Yi shook his head and said softly, "The Dragon Emperor is gone, but there is another thing in the Dragon Valley that can gather the energy of the Emperor Dragon for many years. Come with me." The Dragon King could not imagine what could have such a miraculous effect. The Emperor Dragon Valley is very spacious and can easily accommodate hundreds of dragons. In the center of the Dragon Valley, there is a dragon corpse that is 1,000 feet long. When the Dragon King saw the dragon corpse, he was so frightened that he collapsed to the ground, unable to even move his legs. Dragon Emperor, this is the Dragon Emperor. As soon as I entered the Emperor Dragon Valley, I saw the legendary Dragon Emperor. Wang Yi pointed at the body in front of him and said, "It's dead. It's just a skeleton. But there's still a dragon race vibe coming off it. As long as the dragon chi of the dragon corpse is not consumed, this Dragon Valley can always maintain the Emperor rank." Emperor Dragon Corpse. When the Dragon King heard the news, he was so shocked that his mouth opened wide. From a distance, the corpse of the Emperor Dragon looked like it was alive, with its scales intact. He didn't look injured at all, just like he was lying there sleeping. I never thought that it was already dead. At this time, the Dragon King still had a question in his mind. Who killed this Emperor Dragon? Why is the body left here intact? Did they experience an extremely brutal war? There is no way to know these. Holy Lord, with the corpse of the Dragon Emperor here, its pressure is too great, so I will just live in a corner on the edge. Well, it's up to you. Wang Yi nodded. I'll give you the absolute beginning token, which can open the barrier outside the Dragon Valley. Only you can enter. As he said this, he threw a token to the Dragon King. Jiang Rushue knew that Emperor Dragon Valley was a very rare place for cultivation. If one practiced dragon race techniques here, the speed could be increased 100 times, much faster than the outside world. I believe that after practicing here for a year or so, my strength will be improved qualitatively. The blood feud of my parents can be avenged as soon as possible. After arranging the accommodation, Wang Yi took Jiang Rushue and the Dragon King to the inheritance hall next to them. A magnificent palace can be seen from a long distance. It's like a divine beast lying there, giving people an extreme sense of shock. On the walls surrounding the hall, there are carvings of mythical beasts. Each of the mythical beasts seemed to be alive, releasing a powerful pressure. When the Dragon King approached the heritage hall, he saw a golden dragon carved on the wall. Well, this golden dragon looks lifelike. Who carved it? The dragon race aura is so terrifying. Consciousness reached out to the golden dragon. At this moment, it seems to have entered a special world. In an extremely vast world, there is a golden dragon flying freely in the sky. The golden dragon lowered its head and glared at the Dragon King on the ground. The Dragon King was so frightened that he trembled and collapsed to the ground. Dragon Emperor. This golden dragon is also a Dragon Emperor. What a terrifying dragon race vibe. Only then did the Dragon King realize that nothing in the holy land of absolute beginning was simple. Dragon Valley is Emperor rank. There is an Emperor rank dragon corpse inside. I was paralyzed with fright twice after entering. This inheritance hall is even more terrifying, with mythical beasts carved all around it. Each of the divine beasts can release extremely terrifying pressure, which makes people tremble as if they were alive. Holy Lord, what is this hall? The Dragon King asked puzzledly. Wang Yi explained, this is the Divine Beast Heritage Hall, where you can obtain the Emperor Dragon inheritance related to your bloodline. It is relatively easy to obtain inheritance in the Heritage Hall. As long as your bloodline meets the requirements, you can get an opportunity. This is something that many inheritance halls cannot compare to. Oh my God! The Dragon King's pupils suddenly shrank, and his dragon whiskers trembled up and down. I'm in there, and I can obtain the Emperor Dragon's inheritance. It also has some inherited skills, all of which are acquired when the bloodline awakens, but the grade is not too high. Sometimes, because the bloodline is not complete, there will be some missing parts in the awakened inherited memory. The Dragon King possesses a total of 3 inherited skills, all of which he had used before in the Ice Dragon Valley. The first one is the Dragon's Tail, which is an imperial inheritance. The second one is Dragon Ice Purgatory, which is also an imperial inheritance. The strongest one is the Ice Emperor Dragon formation, which can fuse the bodies of dragons of the same species and increase its own strength dramatically. Emperor rank low grade. Now, the Ice Dragon Valley is destroyed and all the ice dragons are dead. This Ice Emperor Dragon formation is just an empty shell and cannot be used. The Dragon King's strength was greatly weakened. Now, with the opportunity to obtain the Emperor rank inheritance, how could the Dragon King not be excited? Holy Lord, can I go in and obtain the inheritance? The Dragon King said excitedly, his voice trembling. Okay. Wani subdued the Dragon King and he became his younger brother from now on. When your strength improves, doesn't it mean that your own strength has also improved? Great, the Dragon King roared excitedly. It could never have imagined that it would have such a rich opportunity just after joining the Holy Land of Absolute Beginning. It seems that the original decision was not wrong. Perhaps, joining the Holy Land of Absolute Beginning will be a blessing for it. Emperor rank inheritance. Jiang Rushua's beautiful eyes lit up instantly, and her heart was beating wildly. Her Ice Dragon Emperor blood was not pure. When she awakened, she only obtained the royal rank inheritance, but not the Emperor rank inheritance. The reason why she went to the Forbidden Land of Extreme Cold and asked the people of the Sacred Land to help her kill the Ice Dragon was because she wanted to use the blood of the Ice Dragon to enhance her own bloodline power. Only then will there be a chance to make the bloodline purer and obtain the Emperor Dragon's inheritance. With the inheritance of the Emperor Dragon, it will be easier to take revenge in the future. Otherwise, with only the royal inheritance, it would be impossible to deal with the ancient clan Huang family. Holy Lord, the opportunity you just told me is in this Divine Beast Inheritance Hall. Jiang Rushue asked cautiously. Yes. Wani nodded, yes, the other opportunity is the Emperor rank inheritance. Oh my god. That's great. There was a hint of excitement in Jiang Rushue's beautiful eyes. Her big eyes curved into a crescent shape, and her fair cheeks looked very beautiful. I never thought that I would get such a great opportunity just after joining Holy Land of Absolute Beginning. Wani said with a smile, okay, Rushue, now you can enter the Heritage Hall and obtain the inheritance. When disciples improve their strength, it is equivalent to Holy Land of Absolute Beginning improving its strength. Thank you, Holy Lord, for your gift. Jiang Rushue knelt down and kowtowed 3 times, then walked towards the Inheritance Hall. He placed the token in his hand on the groove in the middle of the stone door. The heavy door slid to both sides, and a terrifying breath of an imperial beast rushed towards him. Ah! Jiang Rushue quickly took 7 or 8 steps back and almost tripped over her own ankle and fell to the ground. The Heritage Hall is so scary. Fortunately, the imperial aura dissipated after it rushed out. Otherwise, Jiang Rushue really wouldn't dare to go in. After entering the Heritage Hall, there is a spacious corridor in front of you, with no end in sight. On both sides of the corridor, there are branch halls, and on the heavy doors, there are carvings of lifelike mythical beasts. Jiang Rushue looked to the left and saw a phoenix carved on the first gate. This is the Phoenix Heritage Hall. There is even this kind of inheritance. She thought that the Heritage Hall only had the dragon race inheritance, and the other beasts did not have it. Who would have thought that even the rare phoenix inheritance could be found here? Looking to the right, a burly black tortoise is carved on the heavy door. Black tortoise inheritance. That's rare too. As soon as she entered the inheritance hall, Jiang Rushue saw 2 rare inheritances, which really opened her eyes. After walking forward 30 feet, 2 large doors appeared again on the left and right sides. On the left is a Qilin and on the right is a Pishio. There are already 4 types. There seems to be a lot more ahead. The further Jiang Rushue walked, the more frightened she became. On the left and right sides, there are various inheritances of mythical beasts, and no 2 are the same. 50 kinds. 200. 300 kinds. Oh my god. After walking for a long time and before reaching the end, I had already seen the inheritance of 300 mythical beasts. There is still no end to the corridor ahead. How many kinds of inheritance are there here? Isn't the background of Holy Land of Absolute Beginning too strong? The Emperor rank inheritance is an extremely precious treasure. Each one is extremely rare, and it is no exaggeration to say that they are hard to find in the world. For example, the Ice Dragon King, who was already rank 19, still couldn't find the inheritance hall of the Ice Dragon race. And in this hall of inheritance of divine beasts, there are various rare inheritances. If this gets out, those people will definitely be envious. This inheritance hall alone is a treasure for bloodline cultivators. Jiang Rushue said with emotion. Walking here, I finally saw the portrait of the Extreme Ice Dragon Emperor on the gate on the left. Here. Jiang Rushue placed one hand on the door, and the Ice Dragon Emperor Palace sensed the power of her bloodline, and the door opened inward. Before entering the Heritage Hall, I felt a little nervous. I don't know how difficult it is to obtain this inheritance. With my strength, it should be difficult to pass the challenge. Normally, the Dragon Emperor's inheritance would be extremely challenging. If one could not pass the challenge, one would not be able to obtain the powerful inheritance. There is a high chance of returning empty-handed. Jiang Rushue's current strength is too weak, she only has the Soul Formation realm. If we fail to pass the challenge, wouldn't it be a waste of the Holy Lord's opportunity? Thinking of this, she clenched her fists, with a determined light flashing in her eyes. This time when I enter the Ice Dragon Emperor's inheritance hall, I must do my best to obtain an inheritance. As for the grade of the inheritance, I dare not even imagine it. As long as there is a low-grade Emperor rank inheritance, I will be satisfied. Wow! The white light submerged the delicate figure. Jiang Rushue appeared on the empty circular platform, and the sky around her was pitch black. A giant dark blue dragon soars in the sky. The dragon race aura that was emitted casually suppressed Jiang Rushue so much that she didn't dare to breathe. This is the Extreme Ice Dragon Emperor. What a terrible aura. The Extreme Ice Dragon Emperor floated above the platform and looked at the woman below. Human, you have the blood of the Ice Dragon King flowing in your body, but your bloodline is weak, and it is difficult to bring out the true advantages of the Ice Dragon race. Jiang Rushue's heart skipped a beat and she thought to herself, oh no. The Ice Dragon Emperor's words clearly showed that he looked down upon her bloodline and thought it was too weak. It will be difficult to obtain the low-grade Dragon Emperor inheritance later. Maybe, I can only settle for the second best and obtain the royal inheritance. In the inheritance hall, the highest level is Emperor rank inheritance, and there are also some royal level inheritances. Which one you can obtain depends on your own bloodline potential and strength. Obviously, Jiang Rushue has no advantage in these two aspects. Senior Dragon Emperor, my bloodline power is weak now, but it will improve in the future. Excuse me, what is your challenge? Jiang Rushue asked, tilting her snow-white neck. Challenge. The Ice Dragon Emperor's blue dragon whiskers trembled up and down, you don't have to challenge. Ah. Jiang Rushue almost cried. Could it be that his bloodline was too weak and he was not favored by the Ice Dragon Emperor and was coaxed back directly? Senior Dragon Emperor, please give me a chance. Jiang Rushue begged bitterly, even if it's an imperial inheritance, it's fine. Imperial inheritance. Haha. The Ice Dragon Emperor smiled faintly, I don't have any imperial inheritance here at all. Ah, there's not even an imperial inheritance. Jiang Rushue was about to cry. It seems that this time, I will return empty-handed. When we leave the Heritage Hall later, how should we explain to the Holy Lord? It feels terrible to have a precious opportunity in front of you but not have the ability to get it. Senior Dragon Emperor. I'm leaving. After my strength improves, I will definitely get your recognition. Jiang Rushue walked towards the door with heavy steps, one step at a time. Wait. The Ice Dragon Emperor was visibly stunned. You're leaving without the Emperor rank inheritance. Ah. Jiang Rushue turned half of her body and pointed her green jade finger towards her cheek, can my bloodline also inherit the Emperor rank? This seems a little impossible. Of course. Two streams of white icy air blew out of the Extreme Ice Dragon Emperor's nostrils. Anyone who enters the Heritage Hall can obtain the Emperor rank inheritance. Ah. Jiang Rushue was stunned. I can get it without any test. The Dragon Emperor nodded, his dragon whiskers trembling up and down with the movement. Oh my god. This is too good to be true. Jiang Rushue was so excited that her beautiful eyes sparkled brightly. I never thought that I could obtain the rare Emperor rank inheritance without even any tests in this inheritance hall. It is 1,000 times better than those inheritance halls outside. No matter what inheritance one can obtain, even if it is Emperor rank low grade, it is extremely precious. The Ice Dragon Emperor opened his bloody mouth and balls of ice blue light flew out of his belly and floated in the sky. If you count them carefully, there are thousands of them. Human, you can choose whatever you want. Ah. There are so many inheritances, can I choose whatever I want? Jiang Rushue looked at the blue light balls all over the sky and swallowed. These are the inheritances of thousands of dragon emperors. Each azure light group contains a terrifying dragon race aura. Doesn't this mean that all the dragon emperor's inheritance can be learned at will? I never thought that there would be such a rare thing in the world. Well, pick whatever you like. The Ice Dragon Emperor pointed his claws at the thousands of light balls. The power of dragon race burst out, and the light balls were rearranged into 4 categories. There are the most light balls at the bottom, as many as 400. There are slightly fewer on the second floor, with a total of 300. The third floor is 200. The first layer is the rarest, and the dragon race aura in the light group is also the strongest. The lowest one is the low-grade Emperor Dragon Heritage. The top one is the supreme grade Emperor Dragon Heritage. You can choose whatever you want. Jiang Rushue stared at the hundreds of light balls at the top, and her pupils suddenly contracted. Supreme grade Dragon Emperor Heritage. Oh my god. There is a supreme grade inheritance in the inheritance hall. This was an existence she could never imagine in her dreams. In the inheritance hall that is circulated in the outside world, it is considered good if there are dozens of inheritances. Most of them are low-grade Dragon Emperor inheritances, and middle-grade ones are rare. In this inheritance hall, not only can one obtain inheritance at will, but the number reaches an astonishing 1,000. Even the rarest supreme grade Emperor Dragon Heritage has hundreds of types. If you learn one, you will benefit from it throughout your life. Too many. There are so many. Jiang Rushue looked at the blue light balls excitedly, not knowing how to choose for a moment. Senior Dragon Emperor, which one should I choose? The Ice Dragon Emperor said in a resonant voice, when choosing an Emperor rank inheritance, you don't have to choose the one with the highest level, but the one that suits you best. It's of a high level, but it's not suitable for you. Even if you choose it, it will hardly work. Jiang Rushue nodded in agreement. Senior Longdi is right. I will choose the most suitable one. The Ice Dragon Emperor looked towards the beautiful woman. I think it is most appropriate for you to practice this inheritance. What do you think? After saying that, a ball of ice blue light from the top layer flew in front of Jiang Rushue. Jiang Rushue looked into the ball of light, and her consciousness entered a special world. An extremely powerful dragon emperor shook his dragon body and the powerful dragon chi soared into the sky. The originally clear sky was suddenly covered with dark clouds. Ice blue raindrops fell from the sky. The air was extremely cold and the raindrops quickly turned into hexagonal ice crystals. It looked extremely hard, but when it fell on the dragon scales, it actually made a crisp ding-ding-ding sound. The Dragon Emperor roared. Extreme Ice Dragon Territory. In the sky, those hexagonal ice crystals, under the terrifying dragon chi, continued to gather and condense into tiny ice dragons. The number of ice dragons is increasing. 10. Hundreds of. Chijo. As ice crystals continued to fall from the sky, the ice dragon grew larger and larger. 1 foot. 10 feet. 100 feet. In the blink of an eye, thousands of ice dragons hundreds of feet long circled and danced around the Dragon Emperor. Roar. Roar. The dragon's roar shook heaven and earth. Jiang Rushue's face turned pale and she collapsed on the ground in shock, her consciousness returning to reality. Horrible. It's so scary. Is this the power of the extreme ice dragon realm? As expected of a supreme grade emperor rank inheritance. The Dragon Emperor was originally a lone dragon, but with this inherited martial art, he gained thousands of dragon race minions that were hundreds of feet long. Even though these younger brothers are much weaker than the Dragon Emperor, their numbers are there, and they are absolutely invincible when dealing with forces with larger numbers. What Jiang Rushue wanted was exactly this kind of inheritance. What do you think? Asked the Dragon Emperor. This inheritance is too powerful. Jiang Rushue's eyes lit up, and she said eagerly, can I choose it? Of course. The Dragon Emperor pointed his claws forward, and the blue light ball flew to Jiang Rushue's forehead. A blue light burst out, wrapping around Jiang Rushue's delicate body. A large amount of light flowed into her mind along her eyebrows. The method of using the Extreme Ice Dragon domain is integrated with the memory. About an hour later, the light dissipated, and Jiang Rushue completely mastered this inheritance. He looked at the Dragon Emperor with great gratitude. "Thank you, Senior Dragon Emperor. Go back and practice well, and don't bring shame to the Extreme Ice Dragon race," said the Dragon Emperor earnestly. "Please rest assured, Senior. I will definitely bring the glory of the Extreme Ice Dragon race back to the mainland," Jiang Rushue said in a firm tone. "Yes." The Dragon Emperor nodded with a relieved tone. "Go ahead." "Goodbye." Jiang Rushue left the inheritance hall and returned to the corridor. She pinched her thigh hard with 2 fingers. A red mark appeared. This is not a dream. It's all true. Oh my God. I have obtained the Emperor rank Supreme Grade inheritance. This was something she had never dared to imagine before. I must practice the inherited skills well when I go back. Jiang Rushue clenched her fists, her eyes flashing with determination. Kung Fu requires practice day after day to become stronger and stronger. If you want to cultivate to the level of power displayed by the Dragon Emperor, it will probably take a long time. Outside the inheritance hall, the Dragon King kept his eyes fixed on the gate of the Heritage Hall. It's been so long, and it still hasn't come out. At this time, it was also a little impatient and wanted to enter and obtain the inheritance. Unfortunately, only one person can enter the Heritage Hall at a time. Wow. The heavy door slid open to both sides. A beautiful figure appeared at the door. The Dragon King's eyes suddenly lit up. "Rushue, you look so happy, you must have obtained the inheritance, right? What kind of inheritance is it?" "Emperor rank low grade." Jiang Rushue smiled mysteriously. "Guess again." "Guess again." The Dragon King's eyes widened. "Higher than Emperor rank low grade." "That's middle grade. Emperor rank low grade inheritance is already very rare. As the Dragon King, it has only awakened from its bloodline once." "Not yet." Jiang Rushue's smile was as bright as an orchid. "We still have to guess." "That's Emperor rank high grade." "Oh my God." The Dragon King took a breath. "Isn't it too strong?" According to its guess, the probability of Jiang Rushue's bloodline obtaining a high-level inheritance is low. Emperor rank high grade is definitely the limit. Jiang Rushue finally told the truth. "Emperor rank Supreme Grade." "Oh my God." The Dragon King was completely shocked. Emperor rank Supreme Grade inheritance. Isn't this too strong? If the dragon race wants to obtain high-level inheritance, in addition to bloodline, it also requires strong strength. Rank 12, rank 13 will be easier. But Jiang Rushue in front of him only has the Soul Formation realm, and can obtain the Emperor rank Supreme Grade inheritance. The Dragon King looked towards the Heritage Hall with a burning gaze. What kind of inheritance hall is this? Even Emperor rank Supreme Grade inheritance can be easily obtained. It's horrible. Only at this moment did I realize that Wang Yi had all kinds of powerful opportunities in his hands. Holy Land of Absolute Beginning, everything is not simple. Joining Sacred Land, even as a servant, is much better than living in that Ice Dragon Valley. Strength and heritage are what every dragon race is looking for. What is the Emperor rank inheritance? Can you tell me? Jiang Rushue looked towards the Dragon King and nodded slightly. The Dragon King has been subdued by the Holy Lord. He will be one of us from now on. There is no need to hide anything. If it were an outsider, I would definitely not reveal it. Extreme Ice Dragon territory. Oh my God. The Dragon King's pupils suddenly shrank. This kind of rare inheritance is also in this inheritance hall. In the same Supreme Grade inheritance, there are also rare and common ones. Many dragon races will gain some common inheritances when their bloodline awakens. In a place like the Extreme Ice Dragon domain, even if thousands of dragon races awaken, it is not certain that only one will succeed. Dragon race is already rare, and if it is dispersed, the probability will be even lower. Jiang Rushue looked towards Wang Yi, her eyes full of gratitude. Thanks to the Holy Lord, otherwise I wouldn't be able to obtain such a precious emperor rank inheritance. The Heritage Hall exists because of Wang Yi. There is no need for tests here, which must have been arranged by Wang Yi. With so many powerful inheritances to choose from, which force can do it? I will be satisfied if you can improve your strength. Wang Yi responded with a smile. If a disciple learns the dragon race inherited skills, he should also be able to obtain it. By then, you will be able to master a powerful martial art. However, without dragon blood in his body, the power when used is not as strong as dragon race. Holy Lord, can I go in? The Dragon King said in a trembling voice, his eyes full of anticipation. Of course. Wang Yi nodded. Enter the Heritage Hall, find your bloodline, and you can obtain it. Thank you for the reminder. As soon as the Dragon King finished speaking, he disappeared in the hall. This Xiaobing is too impatient. Wang Yi smiled and shook his head. Rushue, which vein of Ice Dragon Emperor blood do you have? Wang Yi asked, looking at the absolutely beautiful woman. Jiang Rushue smiled awkwardly and said ashamedly, only one lineage. The first meridian is a little weak. Wang Yi paused slightly. Those who have bloodlines can use several veins to describe their strength. For the same kind of dragon blood, one vein is the weakest and 9 veins are the strongest. By continuously improving your bloodline and reaching the limit of 9 meridians, you can be promoted to a stronger level. One lineage can only be said to have this kind of bloodline, but its power is extremely weak and it is difficult to exert the advantages of the bloodline. It is only normal when you are promoted to 3 meridians or above. Those with more than 6 meridians are extremely strong among their kind, and it is difficult to find an opponent at the same level. Wang Yi said earnestly, you must upgrade your bloodline to the 9th vein as soon as possible, and then you can attack the ancient emperor blood. Ancient imperial blood. When Jiang Rushue heard this word, there was a hint of surprise in her clear eyes. This is definitely the most terrifying existence among dragon blood. Among those of the same level, he has absolute crushing power. She didn't even dare to imagine the 6 meridians, let alone the ancient emperor's blood. Holy Lord, is the ancient emperor's blood too difficult to obtain? It takes too many treasures. Even breaking through to the 9th meridian is extremely difficult. Wang Yi shook his head. What's so difficult about the ancient emperor's blood? Breaking through the 9 meridians is even easier. All you need is enough dragon blood. Now, he has a considerable amount of dragon blood and essence blood. Training a disciple is not a problem. Breaking through the 9 meridians is easy. Jiang Rushue swallowed her saliva. The Holy Lord in front of him became taller and more mysterious in his consciousness. Rushue, there is an ancient dragon transformation pool in Sacred Land. If you want to increase the power of your bloodline, you can enter it. The effect is very good. Ancient dragon transformation pool. Jiang Rushue actually knew about this thing in her inherited memory. This is an ancient divine object. The dragon transformation pool can make the dragon blood more effective, integrating it into the body and making the bloodline stronger. This ancient dragon transformation pool can increase the effect 10-fold. 1 drop of dragon blood is equivalent to the effect of 10 drops. It's really unbelievable that the Holy Land of Absolute Beginning can possess such an ancient artifact. No wonder the Holy Lord said that improving the 9 meridians is easy. So there is this ancient dragon transformation pool. Before, the Holy Lord rewarded her with 10 bottles of dragon blood, each bottle was the size of a small pool of water. It is roughly equivalent to the blood of 10 ice dragons. Using the ancient dragon transformation pool, the effect is increased 10-fold, equivalent to the blood of 100 ice dragons. Jiang Rushue feels that the Holy Land of Absolute Beginning is a paradise for disciples, possessing various treasures. Anyone who joins here, even as an outer disciple, is extremely lucky. Follow me and take a look at the dragon transformation pool. Wang Yi walked towards the depths of the Emperor Dragon Valley. There was a cave at the back near the rock wall. Just now, Jiang Rushue was only outside the Dragon Valley and did not find such a hidden cave. Wang Yi waved his wrist, and the golden barrier of the cave opened up into an archway large enough for one person to enter. Following the winding caves, we came to a spacious open space. There is a circular pool in front that is 10 feet deep and has a diameter of about 100 feet. There is a raised pillar in the middle with a circular altar on it that can accommodate one person. This is the ancient dragon transformation pool. Jiang Rushue looked down at the bottom of the pool and saw dark red soil, which contained an extremely terrifying dragon race aura. If you want to absorb dragon blood in the future, just do it here. Wang Yi pointed to the pool below. Pour dragon blood or blood essence into it, sit on the altar in the middle, and you can absorb the power of dragon blood. Thank you, Holy Lord, for your gift. Jiang Rushue quickly kowtowed to Wang Yi. She had heard that even the powerful Emperor Dragon Valley might not have such a magical object. Holy Lord, can I try now? Of course. Great. Jiang Rushue took out the jade bottle given by Wang Yi, unplugged the mahogany stopper, and tilted the bottle mouth towards the pool. Crash! The dark red dragon blood flowed down the bottle mouth like a waterfall. The bottom of the pool was soon flooded with dragon blood, and the water level continued to rise. 3 feet. 1 foot. 10 feet. At this time, all the dragon blood in the jade bottle poured out. In the pool, the dark red dragon blood rippled slightly, and the bloody smell spread. There is also a terrifying dragon race pressure. Jiang Rushue was amazed. I thought to myself, the Holy Lord must have thought of it in advance and let me practice with the ancient dragon transformation pool. The dragon blood in this jade bottle is just enough to fill the pool. Wang Yi pointed to the altar in the middle. Go practice. Thank you, Holy Lord. Jiang Rushue leaped up into the air, her snow-white skirt fluttering in the wind. She looked like a fairy who had descended to the mortal world, giving people a feeling of purity. Landed on the altar and sat cross-legged. Buzz. The altar trembled slightly, releasing a terrifying divine power that enveloped the pool. Below the pool, the dark red totem lit up, and the dragon blood gathered towards the pillar in the middle. There were sunken blood grooves on the pillars, which absorbed the blood and slowly flowed towards the altar. When the dark red dragon blood flowed into the blood trough on the altar, the power of dragon race contained in it became stronger and stronger. 10 times stronger than at the beginning. Under the mysterious power of the altar, dragon blood undergoes a qualitative sublimation. The overall quantity has not changed, but the blood has become purer. The dragon blood flowed along dozens of grooves and gathered towards Jiang Rushue's lower body. The moment the dragon blood touched her body, her delicate body shook. Oh my God! Such a powerful dragon blood power. I feel like my body is swelling up. The dragon blood she absorbed in just a moment had such terrifying power that it really shocked her. Without thinking about anything else, he quickly controlled his body and absorbed the dragon blood. Those with blood vessels can open up 9 special blood vessels in their bodies. Filling each vein with blood means you have complete possession of the vein. There is only a small portion of blood in Jiang Rushue's first meridian, which is extremely unstable. Control the dragon blood that merges into the body and circulates it in the body for 9,981 times. With each circulation, the blood becomes twice as pure. In the end, a water tank of dragon blood was transformed into only 1 drop of extremely pure dragon blood. Jiang Rushue was delighted and controlled the drop of dragon blood to merge into the first vein. Soon, the first pulse grew a little. As expected of an ancient dragon transformation pool. The dragon blood we introduced is extremely powerful, and the refining process is much simpler. At this rate, the first meridian will soon reach its limit. The dragon blood continued to gather in the body, and Jiang Rushue's blood power was rapidly growing stronger. Wang Yi looked at it and nodded slightly. The ancient dragon transformation pool is powerful and safe. Just let Rushue absorb it here. Having said that, he left the Emperor Dragon Valley. In a blink of an eye, it was the day of the Hangzhou Youth Conference. The conference was held outside Jinling City. The organizer is the City Lord's mansion of Jinling City. There were hundreds of fighting platforms built on the square outside. Directly in front, there is a very high stand, on which sit the leaders and clan leaders of all major forces. Many forces arrived outside the city early and waited. There were 2 people on the middle stand, one of them looked middle-aged and the other was an old man. The old man's name is Jiang Dashan, and he is the lord of Jinling City. The man next to him was the manager of the city lord's mansion, named Ma Hongfu. Ma Hongfu looked at the old man next to him and said flatteringly, "City Lord, there are quite a lot of forces participating in the youth conference this time, a total of 132. It's another grand event. That's right. Jiang Dashan stroked his goatee. Hangzhou has a lot of young people, it's a great thing. Ma Hongfu looked in the direction of the Tianjin Holy Sect and saw a tall and straight man who was particularly eye-catching. Su Zhengyu. The Heavenly Sun Venerable Body, a well-deserved prodigy. I heard that in the past 6 months, Su Zhengyu went out for training and encountered an opportunity. His strength has improved and he has broken through to the peak of soul formation. The top spot in this conference will definitely go to Su Zhengyu. Usually prodigies' luck is very good, which is something that no one would envy. Jiang Dashan nodded slightly and looked towards Su Zhengyu with deep admiration in his eyes. You're right. Su Zhengyu is the undisputed #1 prodigy. No force can compare with it. He must be the leader this time. At every youth conference, Jin Lingqing would offer extremely generous opportunities as rewards. Even prodigy was envious. This time is no exception. After winning first place, you will be eligible to enter the Fenglei secret realm. In the entire Jinling city, there is only this one qualification. Speaking of which, there is also a prodigy among the clans in Jinling city. Ma Hongfu looked in the direction of the Jin family, but did not see Jin Yue. Unfortunately, Jin Yue has already joined another faction. Jiang Dashan was stunned. Jin Yue joined the 8 Desolate Holy Sect. A while ago, he inquired about Jin Yue's affairs and learned that Jin sure liked the 8 Desolations Holy Sect very much and was planning to let his daughter join. No. Ma Hongfu also thought at first that Jin Yue had joined the Sacred Land. In the past few days, people from the Sacred Land of Bahuang came to inquire specifically, but they did not see Jin Yue. Didn't join the Sacred Land. Jiang Dashan turned his head, with obvious doubt in his eyes. Which force did Jin Yue join? Ma Hongfu sighed and said, Jin Yue has joined the Holy Land of Absolute Beginning. Ah. Jiang Dashan was completely stunned. Is it the force that is about to be removed from the list? Jin Lingqing is responsible for counting the forces in the entire Hangzhou, and there is also a private ranking. Among hundreds of forces, Holy Land of Absolute Beginning ranked last. If it weren't for the fact that Holy Land of Absolute Beginning was once extremely glorious, it would have been removed from the list long ago. Unexpectedly, Holy Land of Absolute Beginning reared its head again at this youth conference. Yes. Ma Hongfu nodded. I didn't expect that Jin Yue would join Holy Land of Absolute Beginning. Jin Shikai must have a problem with his brain, to allow Jin Yue, who is so talented, to join such a force. Alas. Jiang Dashan also sighed, such a good seedling, it won't be ruined like this. I will go to the Jin family later and ask Jin Shikai what is going on. Ma Hongfu felt that there might be something strange about this matter. In the square, various forces stood separately. The Jin family is in a relatively conspicuous location, and there are several powerful disciples in the family ready to participate in the competition. Jin Shikai stood in front, his eyes constantly scanning the crowd. Finally, in an inconspicuous position, I saw a woman with long, straight legs and skin as white as jade. If not Jin Yue, who else could it be? I wonder how EU's cultivation has been going over the past 6 months. Jin Shikai asked with concern. Ever since he knew that Sacred Land was extraordinary, he had never been there again, for fear of disturbing Wang Yi's rest and having a bad influence on Jin Yue. After carefully observing Jin Yue, the clan elder Jin Wu was slightly stunned. Clan leader, I feel that Yue's figure is too perfect. Jin Shikai showed an unfriendly look on his face and coughed lightly. Elder, why are you looking at my daughter's body? This old pervert, isn't he planning to take advantage of Yue? It's my fault that she was sent to Sacred Land, otherwise. Ahem. Jin Wu rolled his eyes. I've been dead for a long time, what can I do to your daughter? Have you forgotten Yue's physique? The jade bone body, only when one reaches the pinnacle can one have such a perfect body shape. Hiss. Jin Shikai took a breath. It's only been less than a year, and Yu's jade bone body has already been cultivated to the pinnacle. It's too fast. The pinnacle realm was an existence they simply couldn't imagine. With the resources of the Jin family, even basic accomplishment is difficult to achieve. It is really terrifying that I have achieved such results just 9 months after joining Sacred Land. This holy lord is not simple. Jin Wu said with great emotion. His eyes swept past Wang Yi and he saw Jin Linglong, who had a pair of big eyes and a very clever look. It's Linglong. Her strength has greatly increased, and her soft water metacarpal bone seems to have also been promoted. When she left, Jin Linglong only had the body tempering realm. The faint aura now coming out might be from Violet Palace realm. The speed of improving strength can be said to be too fast. Holy Land of Absolute Beginning is indeed extraordinary. Jin Shirkai exclaimed. Whether you are a menial disciple or a maid, as long as you join, you will have abundant opportunities. If it were any other force, who would give a maid such a good opportunity? You can improve your dignity just by coming here. Jin Wu said with emotion, Chief, thanks to your help, Linglong was able to go to the Holy Land of Absolute Beginning to become a saintess. Ha ha ha. Jin Shirkai laughed and patted Jin Wu's shoulder heavily. As the saying goes, happiness is shared. How could I forget you when something good happens? Hee hee. Jin Wu chuckled. There was a tribesman who was standing nearby and heard the conversation between the tribe leader and the elders. The more he listened, the more confused he became. You became a menial disciple. The clan leader looked so happy. Linglong became a maid. The elder is still so happy. They are not my biological children. I really don't understand why the two of them are so happy. Chief Jin. The sudden arrival of a burly man made Jin Shirkai so nervous that he broke out in a cold sweat. Master Luo, how are you? He tried to keep his voice calm, trying not to let the other party notice anything. At that time, the two powerful men of the 8 Desolations Holy Sect were killed by Wang Yi in front of him. Luo Yuanqing snorted coldly, put his big hand on Jin Shirkai's shoulder and squeezed it hard, causing the latter to sweat coldly on his forehead due to the pain. Chief Jin, have you seen Meng Feilong and Tang Chen recently? No. I've really never seen it. Jin Shirkai cursed in his heart. These two people died a long time ago, and you want me to go downstairs to see them? Unlucky. What bad luck. Jin Shirkai said cautiously, since I separated from the two masters that day, I have never seen them again, nor have I been to the Jin family. Really? Luo Yuanqing exerted force with his hands, squeezing Jin Shirkai's shoulders so hard that they crackled. If the force in his hand was greater, his shoulder would probably have been broken. Of course, it's true. Jin Shirkai gritted his teeth, sweating profusely from the pain. At that time, the two masters of your sect left alone for some reason, saying that they would come to the Jin family in the future. I never saw them again. Think about it, how can our Jin family have the strength to deal with these two strong men? There are two people in the holy teaching, one is the 3rd layer of Dongxian, and the other is the 5th layer of Kongji. Only when gold and stone are open can the soul formation realm be created, and only then can the elders of the clan have the profound strength. How can we deal with the two powerful men from the holy church? When Luo Yuanqing heard this again, he pushed Jin Shirkai away. I don't think you dare to go against our holy church. He really couldn't understand why the two people who came to pick up Jin Yue suddenly disappeared for half a year. No news. Even if I encounter some rare opportunities, it's almost time to come back. Jin Yue. Luo Yuanqing saw a woman with an extremely perfect figure and walked towards the Holy Land of Absolute Beginning. Yue, what force have you joined? This location is in the corner of the square and is inconspicuous. In terms of strength, it falls at the end of Hangzhou. Master Luo. Jin Yue had met him a few times before. I have joined the Holy Land of Absolute Beginning. Holy Land of Absolute Beginning. Luo Yuanqing frowned. This force has already declined, why join? At this time, he looked towards the young man next to him. When I checked the other person's aura, I couldn't see what level he was at. In this situation, there are only two possibilities. First, Wang Yi is extremely powerful, far surpassing him. Second, Wang Yi is a mortal and has no strength at all. If this is the Lord of the Holy Land of Absolute Beginning, the latter is unlikely. Who are you? Absolute Beginning Holy Lord. Wang Yi said calmly. You are the Holy Lord. Luo Yuanqing narrowed his eyes slightly and looked at Jin Yue beside him. There must be something wrong here. Perhaps the disappearance of the two powerful men of the Holy Church was related to the young men. That Jin Shikai is lying. Luo Yuanqing planned to keep his troops in place for the time being and go back to investigate the young man's background. It would be best to see how strong he was before taking action. This young man is not simple, as he can defeat two powerful saints. After the youth conference, can we invite the Absolute Beginning Lord to a gathering? Yeah. Wang Yi nodded slightly. With his strength, he didn't take the other party seriously at all. Hikami Sanpo. Almost all the forces coming to participate in the competition have arrived. Jiang Dashan stood on the high platform and glanced at the crowd. Today is the youth conference held every 3 years. In recent years, Hangzhou has produced many young people, and I feel honored. The winner will be eligible to enter the Fenglei secret realm. As soon as the words fell, there was an uproar in the place. Many young disciples looked amazed. Oh my God! The reward for the top winner this time is really the Fenglei secret realm. Isn't this too good to be true? The Fenglei secret realm has many opportunities. If you can enter, your strength will definitely increase dramatically. Unfortunately, my strength is too weak. Those who don't have the strength can only watch others take away their precious opportunities. Seeing the crowd quiet down, Jiang Dashan continued, Okay, I declare that this youth conference is officially open. Please contestants, go to the waiting area according to the match number on the list. The youth conference is divided into 5 days. The total number of participants reached 3,650. Anyone who has some ability will participate in the competition. Even if they cannot win a place, it is still a gain of experience. There are a total of 100 arenas. The first 3 days are auditions, the losers will be disqualified and the winners will continue to compete. After 3 days, the top 32 will be decided. The top 4 will be decided on the 4th day. Then there are the semifinals and finals. The frequency of the matches is very close, and for those with weaker strength, their physical strength will be a great test. But for those strong ones, it is not a problem at all. Boom boom boom. The gong sounded and the competition officially began. The disciples, who looked to be in their early 20s, were sparring fiercely on the ring. The stands are 10 feet high, so even from a distance, one can still see what's happening on the ring. Holy Lord, is your strength okay? Jean Linglong stood behind Wang Yi and gave him a massage. Yeah, not bad. Wang Yi closed his eyes in enjoyment. EU is about to go on stage. Jean Linglong pointed to the number 10 ring on the left. Her opponent seems to be someone from the 8 Desolations Holy Sect. I've seen him at the Jean family before. It's not weak. Wang Yi looked towards ring number 3. Opposite Jean Eus stood a burly man named Fen Wenxuan. Violet Palace is at the peak, just a small minion. Wang Yi said with a faint smile. Before, he was a powerful opponent. Jean Linglong couldn't help but sigh, but now, he is no match for EU at all. 9 months ago, even 100 Jean EUs were no match for Fen Wenxuan. Unless you drain the other party dry and cause sudden death or something. But now, Jean EU is growing too fast. Arena number 10. Fen Wenxuan looked at Jean EU's slender, white thighs with an extremely obscene look. He thought to himself, what a pair of beautiful legs. If I carry them on my shoulders, hee. However, this was not said openly. EU, I haven't seen you for a few years. Your figure is getting better and better. Join the 8 Desolations Holy Religion. I know a lot of unique body refining methods that you can try, hee. After saying this, Fen Wenxuan looked at the round thighs and his saliva was almost flowing. I'm not interested in the 8 Desolations Holy Church. Jean EU seemed to see through Fen Wenxuan's intention and glared at him fiercely. EU, do you want to beat me? Fen Wenxuan said with a trivial look on his face. I must beat you. Jean EU snorted coldly. Okay, as long as you promise to drink with me tonight, I'll let you win today. Fen Wenxuan looked at that slender waist and imagined the wonderful feeling of hugging her while drinking at night. He almost flew to the sky. Jean EU's graceful curves became the focus of everyone's attention as soon as she came on stage. Especially the male disciples, some of them even did not forget to take a few more glances on the stage. Oh my God, this beauty has such a great body, my mouth is watering. So beautiful. Who is she? Why haven't I seen her before? If I marry this girl, I can carry this leg for 10,000 years. Get lost. Even a strongman like the great emperor would lose hundreds of years of his life if he resisted for a few years, not to mention a thin dog like you. Soon, Jin Yue became the subject of discussion among everyone. Some people recognized her. Isn't this Jin Yue from the Jin family? How did she join the Holy Land of Absolute Beginning? Holy Land of Absolute Beginning. I haven't heard of it. It doesn't seem to be very famous. It's normal that you haven't heard of it. Holy Land of Absolute Beginning is about to disband. Ah. Isn't it asking for trouble for Jin Yue to join this force? There is a sign on the ring with the contestants' forces and names written on it. Seeing that Jin Yue came from Holy Land of Absolute Beginning, none of these people were optimistic. In the stands, the location of the 8 Desolations Holy Sect. Luo Yuanqing saw Fen Wenxuan's intention from his mouth shape and couldn't help but curse. This bastard can't even walk when he sees a woman. Do you still want to pretend to lose to the other party? I told him a long time ago that women would only affect his cultivation foundation, but he didn't listen. Fen Wenxuan has very good qualifications and owns Black Bear Emperor physique, which is very suitable for body refining. If you practice well, you will definitely become a strongman like him in the future. Another part of the stands. The city lord Jiang Dashan also looked towards the number 10 arena. Jin Yue, you're on stage so soon. I want to see what skills this Holy Land of Absolute Beginning has taught her. Ma Hongfu shook his head slightly and was not optimistic about Jin Yue. Before you joined the Holy Land of Absolute Beginning, she was only at the Juyuan realm. No matter how much she improved, she would only be at the beginning of entering the Violet Palace realm. There is no way he can be a match for Fen Wenxuan. Arena number 10. Jin Yue's face was frosty as she stared at the other person. You vile bastard. Die. After saying that, regardless of the other party's reaction, he kicked the other party in the chest. What a pair of beautiful legs. Fen Wenxuan smelled an alluring fragrance and wanted to hold the legs in his arms and enjoy them. As a result, he underestimated the speed of the leg and was kicked directly in the chest. With a dull bang sound, Fen Wenxuan's chest caved in, and his body flew backward 70 or 80 feet out of the arena and fell heavily to the ground. Phew. A mouthful of bright red blood dyed the bluestone bricks on the ground red. At this moment, Fen Wenxuan was completely stunned. What a terrible power. I lost. The leg kicked at him, but he had no power to react and was hit in the chest. His internal organs churned in his stomach and mouthfuls of blood spurted out. Now there is more exhalation and less inhalation. This scene made all the audience on the stage dumbfounded. Oh my god. Jin Yue has such terrible power. She defeated Fen Wenxuan with just one blow. Fen Wenxuan has the body of a black bear, is good at body refining, and is at the peak of Violet Palace. His body is extremely strong. How could he be defeated? What realm is Jin Yue in? I can't find out at all. Is this the disciple taught by Holy Land of Absolute Beginning? So strong. Those who originally did not think highly of Jin Yue were all stunned. No one could have imagined that a body refining expert at the peak of Juyuan would lose due to a lack of strength and be defeated by a single blow. In the stands, Luo Yuanqing suddenly stood up and flew towards Fen Wenxuan's position. Wenxuan. Luo Yuanqing didn't expect this result. Fen Wenxuan is one of the top 5 contestants in terms of strength among the 8 Desolations Holy Sect contestants. Defeated by Jin Yue. This woman was only at the Juyuan realm a year ago and could never be a match for Fen Wenxuan. Who would have thought? Just one hit and he was defeated. This made his old face turn red and white. What's going on? Luo Yuanqing frowned. Did Wenxuan give in to Jin Yue? Considering the mouth shape I just saw, this is indeed possible. But when he saw Fen Wenxuan's chest slumping, he shook his head. Impossible. If Fen Wenxuan had let Jin Yue go, he would have had to fight for a few more times before being defeated, and he wouldn't have suffered such serious injuries. That is to say, Jin Yue has real skills. Thinking of this, he looked at Wang Yi meaningfully. What abilities does this absolute beginning lord have? Can you train Jin Yue to be so strong in such a short time? The power completely crushes Fen Wenxuan of Black Bear Emperor physique. Some ability. Center of the stands. Jiang Dashan's pupils shrank and he looked at Jin Yue in surprise. Jin Yue is so strong. Isn't your strength improving too fast? If you want to defeat Fen Wenxuan with one kick, you must be at least much stronger than him. Stronger than Violet Palace. Violet Palace's peak, doesn't that mean that the realm is about to reach soul formation? In less than a year, he broke through the soul formation realm and could be called an unparalleled genius. At this time, look towards the corner of the stands. There was a handsome man in a white robe, looking calm and composed, not taking the previous competition seriously at all. This absolute beginning lord is not a simple person. Jin Yue joined Holy Land of Absolute Beginning for a reason. I just don't know if Jin Yue can make it to the end and win the championship. It's too difficult to make it to the end. Ma Hongfu shook his head. Su Zhengyu is at the peak of soul formation and has the heavenly sun body. How can Jin Yue compare to him? That makes sense. After thinking about it, Jiang Dashan also felt that Su Zhengyu had a greater chance of winning. Ha ha ha, EU, well done. Jin Shikai cheered when he saw his daughter kicking the lecherous man and severely injuring him. It turned out to be a good decision to let Yue join Holy Land of Absolute Beginning. This is definitely the best choice I have ever made in my life. Yue's improved strength is a bit exaggerated. Jin Wu was stunned. If you want to defeat Fen Wenxuan so easily, you must have at least reached the soul formation realm. 9 months, breaking through soul formation. He's stronger than you, Chief. The patriarch of their Jin family, Jin Shikai, now only has the soul formation realm. Ahem. Jin Shikai covered his mouth and coughed a few times. Why are you bringing up something else? My daughter is strong now, and as her father, I will also benefit from it in the future. I am also looking forward to Holy Land of Absolute Beginning getting a good ranking in this youth conference and making a name for itself in Hangzhou. In this way, the Jin family's position in Jinling City will be completely stabilized. No one dared to provoke them. The game continues. After the first 3 days, the top 32 were born. They are all prodigy of major forces. Jin Yue entered the second round without any suspense and became the biggest dark horse player in this youth conference. The organizer will assign opponents based on the strength of the contestants. There are only 10 soul formation realms in total, and you won't meet them before the semifinals. After the competition ended that day, unusual movements were heard in the sky to the north of Jinling City. A huge island appeared in the sky, with a huge sword stuck in the center. From a distance, you can't tell how big the sword is. Many forces in Hangzhou were extremely excited when they saw this floating island. Oh my god! This is the ancient sword island. It only appears once every 100 years. I didn't expect it to appear near Jinling City this time. We are so blessed. With my sword Dao aptitude, I should be able to go to the ancient sword island and comprehend the legendary emperor rank swordsmanship. I may even be able to comprehend the ancient swordsmanship. Forget it. Emperor rank swordsmanship is extremely difficult to comprehend, and ancient swordsmanship is even more impossible. The ancient sword island comes from ancient times and contains the ancient sword technique heritage. The ancient sword island appears once every 100 years. All sword Dao practitioners whose realm is lower than Dongxian can go to the island to comprehend the swordsmanship. According to legend, the most powerful swordsmanship on the ancient sword island is a set of ancient emperor swordsmanship, which is 1 level higher than the emperor rank. There is no law manifestation to compare the two. This ancient imperial sword technique has never been obtained by anyone because it is too difficult to comprehend. Wang Yi stood on the corridor of the guest room, with his hands behind his back, looking towards the horizon. The orange-red sun was half hidden behind the mountain, purple clouds were floating in the sky, and the floating island seemed sometimes illusory and sometimes solid under the sunlight. This is the ancient sword island. It's just a shadow now, it hasn't completely arrived yet. It will take about a year. Unfortunately, my realm is too high, and I have no chance to enter the ancient sword island. Sword Island can only be entered by those below the Dongxian realm, and the Great Emperor exceeds more than half of them. I am still very much looking forward to the ancient imperial swordsmanship contained in it. Let Qin Feiyu comprehend the ancient emperor sword technique, maybe he can succeed. Qin Feiyu possesses the 10,000 sword bones, which gives him extraordinary aptitude. It is not difficult for him to comprehend the emperor rank swordsmanship from them. However, it is very difficult to comprehend the ancient emperor's sword techniques. 10,000 rank sword bone is still far from enough. Let Qin Feiyu be promoted to emperor rank sword bone qualification, which will make it easier to comprehend. Nowadays, Holy Land of Absolute Beginning has all kinds of emperor rank sword techniques, but not a single ancient emperor sword technique. Only by mastering these can you truly dominate sword Dao. Wang Yi thought to himself that after this conference was over, he would go back and train Qin Feiyu well and prepare for the ancient sword island. On the fourth day of the conference, the top four were decided. Jin Yue still won the game easily, relying on her boxing and kicking skills to defeat her opponent effortlessly. The peak state of the Jade Bone noble body is an extremely strong tempering of the body. Strength is also one's own strength. Day 5. In the two semifinals in the morning, Jin Yue met a Soul Formation Realm strongman, whose realm was not very high, only Soul Formation second layer. It only takes a little effort to defeat the opponent. At this moment, the whole audience was silent. Those male disciples all looked at Jin Yue with fiery eyes. Oh my God! Jin Yue is the biggest dark horse in this youth conference. Now we have reached the finals. Before, I would never have believed that such a thing would happen. She's only 20 years old, and she's already this strong. She'll definitely win first place in the next youth conference. At the age of 20, being able to stand on the finals stage is definitely making history. Although Su Zhengyu is very strong, he is already 29 years old. Holy Land of Absolute Beginning, this once underdog force, suddenly became the absolute winner of the youth conference. Regardless of whether Jin Yue can win next, her reputation has already been established. Many young disciples looked towards the direction of Holy Land of Absolute Beginning with fiery eyes. Holy Land of Absolute Beginning is amazing. Jin Yue has become a soul formation expert in less than a year since joining. There must be a lot of opportunities in Sacred Land, right? I envy Jin Yue so much. I wonder if I can join. With my king body qualifications, I can definitely become a core disciple, right? I have the qualifications to be an emperor physique. It will be a great success if I go over and become his disciple. Holy Land of Absolute Beginning, wait for me, I'll say goodbye to my master when I get back. Many disciples want to join the Holy Land of Absolute Beginning to get better opportunities. From sun to noon. The sun was shining brightly and the air was hot, but it couldn't stop the audience's enthusiasm. The stands were packed, and everyone was looking at the two people on the ring who were about to compete for the championship. Su Zhengyu was shirtless, his muscles glowing bronze in the sun. You are very strong. You are a respectable opponent. Su Zhengyu looked at Jin Yue, but you are definitely not my opponent. If you admit defeat now, you can leave with dignity. The youth conference of the lower realm will be your stage. The corners of Jin Yue's mouth curled up slightly. Who gave you the confidence to think you could beat me? Realm. Su Zhengyu opened his arms and bathed in the golden sunlight, and there is also the heavenly sun body. When the sun is shining brightly, it is the period when the Tianyang Zun body is at its strongest, and performing martial arts techniques can gain bonuses. The sunlight in the afternoon is a little weaker, so the increase will not be so large. Jin Yue looked at the other person with interest. You are a very strong opponent. Let's see who is stronger today. You are no match for me. Su Zhengyu stared at his opponent. I admit that the Jade Bone body is very strong, but the Tianyang body is even stronger. It is your nemesis. Yugu Zun's body is icy and Tianyang Zun's body is yang, which is just right to restrain each other. Especially under this positive sun, the strength of Tianyang Zun's body can be increased by 2 times, and the enemy is no match for him. If you don't try, how do you know you can beat me? Jin Yue said coldly. Okay, since you don't want to admit defeat, don't blame me for not being gentle with women. Su Zhengyu's eyes condensed and emitted a cold light. The battle is about to begin. In the stands, many spectators saw the tense scene and felt that the atmosphere was extremely solemn. Those who were slightly weaker felt difficulty breathing and chest tightness just by feeling the aura emitted by the two. The war is about to begin. Jin Yue is so strong-willed that she didn't back down despite Su Zhengyu's persuasion. If it were me, I would have just given up. This place is designed for Su Zhengyu. Under this bright sun, the Tianyang Zun body has doubled its power. Twice as much. That's horrible. My martial arts skills are twice as powerful. My strength is twice as powerful. How can I fight like this? Su Zhengyu is at the peak of soul formation. With a twofold increase, his strength must be at the profound realm, right? The two most critical factors in the battle were both doubled under the effect of Zhengyang. One must be at least much stronger to be able to compete with Su Zhengyu. Some people even think that after doubling his strength, Su Zhengyu's strength is comparable to that of a Dongxian master. No matter how strong Jin Yue is, can she be stronger than a Dongxian expert? This was not an evenly matched battle at all. Even God is helping Su Zhengyu. Jin's location. Jin Shirkai's hands were covered in cold sweat. Yue, you must be careful. Su Zhengyu is too strong. If he gets injured in the battle, it will be difficult to deal with. Clan leader. Jin Wu came closer and whispered in his ear, Yu's jade bone body has already reached the transcendent realm. Can it compete with Tianyang's body? It's difficult. Jin Shirkai sighed, if it's at night, when Yu fights Su Zhengyu's Tianyang Zunti has no advantage, but Yugu Zunti has entered the realm of transformation, so he can win back a battle. But now, the Tianyang Zun body is at its strongest, twice as strong. Even if the Yugu Zun body has reached the transcendent realm, it is no match for it. Besides, Tianchen's sacred land has put a lot of effort into training Su Zhengyu. Tianyang Zunti has already reached the great accomplishment realm. Calculating this way, Jin Yue has no advantage at all in terms of physical condition. The realm is so different. This battle is most likely to be lost. Alas. Jin Shirkai sighed deeply, it doesn't matter whether I win the game or not. As long as Yue finishes the game safely, I will be relieved. Don't worry, clan leader. Yu will be fine. Jin Wu patted the clan leader's shoulder and comforted him. On the ring. As the gong sounded, the competition officially began. Su Zhengyu said casually, you are a woman, so let you make the first move. You're welcome then. Jin Yue instantly burst her speed to the limit, raised her long legs, and kicked Su Zhengyu in the chest. Su Zhengyu had a very sharp eyesight and did not underestimate the enemy. He put his hands together, palms facing outwards, to block the kick. Bang. The terrifying force spread along Su Zhengyu's arms. He was unable to resist the force and took 7 or 8 steps back before he could steady himself. What a strong force. I never thought that Jin Yue's strength was so strong. I really don't know how she cultivated it. After seeing this scene, the audience was stunned. None of them expected that Su Zhengyu would be defeated by Jin Yue in a head-on collision. Oh my god, how can Jin Yue be so powerful? That's impossible. Su Zhengyu is a body-refining expert at the peak of soul formation, and he also has the heavenly sun body. How could Jin Yue be stronger than him? Could it be that Su Zhengyu fought Jin Yue for the first time, and seeing that she was a woman, he didn't use his full strength? After thinking about this, these people felt relieved. I think Su Zhengyu was defeated by Jin Yue because he didn't use his full strength. On the ring. Only Su Zhengyu knew that he had not let up at all in that attack just now. Instead, he used nearly 80% of his strength and was still beaten back. Su Zhengyu frowned slightly. Jin Yue is very powerful. It seems that we can't hold back. Flame palm. Su Zhengyu stretched out his hand forward, and a scorching flame condensed on his palm. Tianyang's body is of the fire element, so he will have greater advantages when performing fire-type martial arts. Under the flaming palm, the temperature in the square suddenly rose. Su Zhengyu rushed forward and slapped Jin Yue's face with his flaming palm. There was no sign of stopping this move. Jin Yue did not step back. Jin Shirkai, who was standing on the square stands, felt his heart rise to his throat when he saw Su Zhengyu's flaming palm. Yue, retreat quickly. Avoid that flaming palm, it's Su Zhengyu's famous skill. Blazing palm is a high-grade martial art. Su Zhengyu has been practicing this palm technique for nearly 15 years, and through day-to-day practice, he has already mastered it to perfection. It can be said that this set of palm techniques can be performed to the extreme at will. Jin Yue is only 20 years old now. The time spent on martial arts training was not too long. In Jin Shirkai's impression, Jin Yue had never learned any martial arts that could compete with the fiery palm. Even if you join the Holy Land of Absolute Beginning, you still have to spend 8 hours every day to look at the mountain. The remaining time is used to absorb spirit chi and sleep. The time spent practicing martial arts was even shorter. Therefore, Jin Yue most likely has no way to resist the fiery palm. On the ring, Jin Yue did not retreat, but raised her jade hand forward. Between her green jade fingers, an icy blue light emerged, condensed into a hexagonal ice crystal in the air, and flew towards the flaming palm while spinning. An extremely cold force emanated from the ice crystal. Su Zhengyu felt that his flame was trembling slightly, and the temperature dropped by 30%. He couldn't help but frown. What kind of martial art is this? Such a strong icy aura. Under the ice, his body felt a little uncomfortable, but the fiery palm had already been used and there was no room for stopping. I watched the man on the ring with flames in his hands collide with the ice crystal. Bang! The ice crystal and the flaming palm collided with each other, and the extreme cold force actually wrapped around Su Zhengyu's palm. With a crackling sound, ice crystals were imprinted on the palm of his hand, and the extreme icy force completely enveloped Su Zhengyu's palm. The blazing flame was extinguished instantly. What a powerful martial art! Su Zhengyu was forced to stop. At this moment, the palm of his hand was still holding the hexagonal ice crystal. When I looked away, I saw that my palm had turned purple due to the cold. This color is not caused by the burning of the fire palm technique, but is frozen by the extreme icy force. The purple color was still spreading from the wrist to the arm. He hurriedly shook his hands one by one, but failed to shake off the ice crystal that emitted extremely cold power. Damn it! What kind of martial arts is this? It's so powerful. It can even stick to my body after it's been used. Su Zhengyu shook his hands violently. He still didn't shake off the blue ice crystals, and the icy force continued to spread to his arms. Oh no, we must find a way to get rid of this icy power. Su Zhengyu mobilized the spirit chi in his body and concentrated it all on his palm, and a scorching flame took shape on his hand. Sizzle. After a while, under the extremely high temperature, the hexagonal blue ice crystal slowly melted into a pool of clear water and fell to the ground. The audience on the stage were all stunned after seeing this scene. No one expected that Su Zhengyu's famous flame palm would be no match for Jin Yue's ice crystal attack. The crowd was talking. What exactly is that martial art that Jin Yue performed? What a terrifying icy power. It fell into Su Zhengyu's hands and immediately put out the flame. Did you see that? Su Zhengyu's right hand has turned purple, swollen, and big, like an eggplant. I guess 2 will be enough. Look. The hexagonal ice crystal is still imprinted on Su Zhengyu's palm, and the icy power is also spreading in his body. If it can't be removed quickly, it will definitely have a great impact on his body. Just now the crowd was still worried about Jin Yue's situation, but who would have thought that in the blink of an eye, the person they were worried about became Su Zhengyu. When Jin Shirkai saw his daughter defeat Su Zhengyu's fiery palm with one move, he finally felt relieved. What kind of skill is this? So powerful. From the way he performed it just now, his realm is probably not low. The blazing flame palm was of the high-grade king rank, and after practicing it for 15 years, it had reached a state of perfection. Jin Yue had only practiced this martial art for 9 months at most, but it was able to compete with Su Zhengyu's martial art, which meant that her martial art was at least at the high grade, or even the legendary emperor rank. Thinking of the word emperor rank, Jin Shirkai's pupils shrank suddenly. When Jin Yue joined the Holy Land of Absolute Beginning, she was blessed by the Holy Lord and awarded a book called Jade Maiden Emperor Skills. After so much time has passed, the Holy Lord allowed Jin Yue to attend the youth conference and should reward her with a very powerful martial arts book. Is it possible? When Jin Shirkai thought of a possibility, his eyes burst into dazzling light. The technique that the Holy Lord gave to Jin Yue is also emperor rank. In the center of the stands. When the city lord Jiang Dashan saw this scene, he was also slightly stunned. Jin Yue is so powerful. She has only been in Holy Land of Absolute Beginning for a few months, but she has already become so powerful. Thinking of this, Jiang Dashan looked towards the corner of the stands. There was a man in white, sitting on a rattan chair with a calm expression. Behind him, there was a very smart-looking woman massaging his shoulders. It doesn't look like they are worried about the outcome of the game, they are just here to enjoy themselves. Jiang Dashan looked at Wang Yi deeply. This young man is not a simple person. It only took a few months to train Jin Yue to be so strong. The biggest dark horse in this youth conference is this Holy Land of Absolute Beginning. I believe that after this battle, even if Jin Yue loses, the reputation of Holy Land of Absolute Beginning will be thoroughly established. At this time, Jiang Dashan still firmly believed that Su Zhengyu could defeat Jin Yue. After all, Su Zhengyu's Tianyang body can be amplified twice under this bright sun. Now that Tianyang's body has not been used yet, perhaps I can still fight him on equal terms. When Su Zhengyu unleashes his true strength, Jin Yue will definitely be defeated instantly and there will be no chance of winning. On the ring. The sun is shining brightly in the sky. Jin Yue's skin, as smooth as jade, exudes an alluring luster. It looks like the finest mutton-fat jade, without any impurities and extremely smooth. Countless young disciples secretly swallowed their saliva when they saw that flawless body. Jin Yue quickly pinched a few magic spells with her fingers, and ice blue light balls flew out from her fingertips and turned into hexagonal ice crystals in the air. Sniff sniff. Hundreds of ice crystals flew towards Su Zhengyu. Su Zhengyu didn't expect that Jin Yue could release so many ice crystals at the same time. He was unable to dodge in time and his body was stuck by several ice crystals. He raised his fist and swung it forward violently. The energy brought up a gust of strong wind. The strong wind whistled, creating a small storm that blew away 7 or 8 ice crystals flying towards it. But those ice crystals were controlled extremely flexibly by Jin Yue, surrounding Su Zhengyu from all directions. Bang! An ice crystal fell on Su Zhengyu's arm, and the extreme cold force spread, freezing the skin purple and red. Su Zhengyu was still punching, but his arms were frozen by the extreme cold and his speed slowed down a lot. Another ice crystal fell on the right arm. The 2 ice crystals were only an inch apart, and soon the arm was completely frozen into purple. Pa pa pa. One by one, hexagonal ice crystals stuck to Su Zhengyu's body and legs, and his movements became increasingly stiff. Because of his carelessness for a moment, he was completely controlled by Jin Yue and fell into a stalemate. How could Jin Yue miss such a good opportunity? Seeing his opponent frozen by the icy force, he waved his fingers dozens of times. The ice crystals all around were stuck to Su Zhengyu's body. Soon, the skin turned purple-red, like a freshly roasted suckling pig, and the blood circulation had slowed to the extreme. The icy power of hundreds of ice crystals exploded and wrapped around Su Zhengyu's body. He was frozen into an ice sculpture and trapped in the light blue ice. The temperature around was also dropping suddenly. When everyone in the square saw this scene, they were all shocked. Oh my god! Jin Yue's ice power is too strong. She can actually freeze Su Zhengyu's body. I wonder what level this technique is. It shouldn't be low. If I were to guess, it must be the Emperor body technique to have such terrifying power. When combined with the Jade Bone honored body, it's too powerful. These audiences were all shocked by Jin Yue's strength. However, some people are not worried about Su Zhengyu's situation and believe that he will be able to escape from the ice. After all, Tianyang's body is of the fire element, and he has not used his real trump card. Suddenly, the bright sun in the sky burst into brilliant golden light, forming a beam of light that fell on the square. The bright sun brought extremely terrifying high temperatures, and the icy air completely disappeared under the sun. The sun shone on Su Zhengyu, and the ice quickly melted. After coming out of the ice, the dark red frostbite on his body completely disappeared. Tianyang Zunti. Su Zheng roared, and his body absorbed the extreme yang power emitted by the sun, and suddenly rose 10 feet taller. There was a bronze glow on the skin, as if there was a fire burning beneath it. The aura on his body also doubled. Many audiences were excited when they saw Su Zhengyu display the Tianyang Zunti. Oh my god, Su Zhengyu is using the Heavenly Sun body. I thought he wouldn't use this ability in today's battle. What a terrifying aura. I feel like his strength has already risen to the profound realm. It should be about the same. The Tianyang Zunti can double my strength, and the spirit qi in my body has also skyrocketed by 2 times. With such an increase, it is normal to be promoted to the Dongxian realm. Oh my god. He is a strong man in the Dongxian realm, spanning a large realm. Jin Yue is definitely not his opponent. Today's battle is about to end, and Su Zhengyu is today's leader. When these people saw Su Zhengyu's Tianyang Zun body, they were even more convinced that this battle was no longer a suspense. In the center of the stands, there was a very spacious area where some spectators were sitting. All of them were from the Tianjin Holy Sect. Among them was a middle-aged man with an extremely burly figure and extraordinary aura, named Li Hedong. He is the leader of the Tianjin Holy Religion. From the beginning of this competition to now, Li Hedong's expression has been very calm. It seems that he is sure to win the game. Seeing Su Zhengyu display the Tianyang Zun body, Li Hedong's mouth curled up slightly and revealed a smile. There is no suspense in the game now. I admit that Jin Yue is very strong, but Su Zhengyu is the master of this game right now. We will definitely win this battle. At this moment, he looked towards the holy land of absolute beginning and saw Wang Yi leaning on a rattan chair enjoying a massage, with a hint of contempt in his eyes. It's already this late, and you're still enjoying your massage. Do you really think Jin Yue can win over Su Zhengyu? We in Tianjin Sacred Land have many powerful skills. On the ring. Jin Yue, it's not too late to admit defeat now. Su Zhengyu crossed his arms over his chest and looked at the tiny woman in front of him. After using the Tianyang body, Jin Yue's jade bone body will become extremely fragile in front of him. Even if he used ice crystals like he did just now, he couldn't freeze his body. I believe Jin Yue will be helpless against me this time. After seeing the powerful Tianyang Zunti, Jin Yue's eyes remained calm and she looked as if she was at ease. This is your Tianyang Zunti, it looks quite interesting. As he spoke, he quickly formed a series of magical spells with his fingers, and blue ice crystals flew towards Su Zhengyu. As soon as the ice crystals came into contact with Su Zhengyu within a 10-foot radius, they were melted by the scorching heat emitted by the bright sun in the sky. Every ice crystal cannot get close. The martial arts that were so powerful just now have now completely lost their effect. Looking at the flying ice crystals, Su Zhengyu crossed his arms over his chest, not even intending to take action. Give up. Your ice crystals are no longer of any use to me. No matter how much you use it, it will be in vain. By using the heavenly sun body, the sun above your head can shine a golden beam of light. The golden light contains extreme fire power, which is much stronger than Jin Yue's ice power. No matter how many ice crystals fly in, they will just turn into water. Especially now it is noon, when the power of the sun is at its strongest. At least twice as strong as usual. The Jin Yue in front of him would definitely not be his opponent. Jin Yue's expression remained calm. The Tianyang Zunti is indeed interesting, but it is still far inferior to me. A clear shout. Extreme Ice Emperor Body. A layer of light white frost appeared on Jin Yue's skin. An extreme icy force was released from the body. Many noble bodies or emperor bodies have special abilities. Once it is used, it will burst out with even stronger power. From the originally clear sky floated hexagonal snowflakes, which glowed with icy blue light under the sun. After the Tianyang Zunti was activated, the bright sun in the sky made the place extremely hot. Many young disciples could not withstand the power of the scorching flames and were sweating all over. But after a short while, ice crystals appeared from the sky and the power of extreme cold dissipated. This feeling of ice and fire is really unbearable. Many weak people were so cold that they curled up in their chairs and shivered. Blue snowflakes fell from the sky and gathered towards Jin Yue's body. After absorbing these ice-blue snowflakes, his body suddenly grew 3 feet taller. That long leg was nearly 2 meters long. After transforming into the Extreme Ice Emperor body, his body was covered with a layer of frost, making him look like an ice queen from the world of ice and snow, cold and beautiful beyond compare. The young disciples on the platform nearby were all stunned when they saw the long leg that was nearly 2 meters long. F***CK. Isn't this thigh too long? If I could carry this, I could play with it for 10,000 years. Screw you. If you can carry her, you probably won't survive for 3 years. I want to surrender to her. Oh my God, it was so hot just now, and now it's so cold, are you going to let me live? The strength of these young disciples was not very strong, and due to the alternating cold and heat, many of them had blue snot flowing from their nostrils. In the middle stands. When the city lord Jiang Dashan saw the 3-meter-tall Jin Yue, his pupils suddenly contracted. Such a tall body is too exaggerated. Generally speaking, the height of the body after transformation can represent how strong the strength is and how great the potential is. For example, after Su Zhengyu used his Tianyang Zunti, his height could reach about 10 feet, which was already very exaggerated. And this Jin Yue is even more exaggerated. Her body was 3 meters tall, and Su Zhengyu couldn't even reach her thighs in front of her. Noticing the power of extreme cold, he was suddenly shocked. Yugu Zunti knows it very clearly. After using it, it would never be like what it is now, making Jin Yue look like an ice queen, cold and arrogant. Ma Hongfu was also stunned. City Lord, this seems to be the extreme Ice Emperor body. I've seen it in an ancient book before. After the Ice Emperor transforms, a blue ice totem will appear between his brows. It looks a bit like a crown. Really? This is the extreme Ice Emperor body. Jiang Dashan finally believed it when he saw the ice blue crown between Jin Yue's eyebrows. Oh my God, how could she possess the Ice Emperor body? Wasn't it the Jade Bone body before? Jin Yue has lived in Jinling City since she was a child. As the city lord here, Jiang Dashan often sees her. I also know what the Jade Bone body looks like after it is transformed. It was not even 10 feet tall, which meant that the body was raised to about 8 or 9 feet tall. At this time, Jin Yue already had a body 3 feet tall. The name of the Extreme Ice Emperor body is about to come out. Jiang Dashan was completely stunned and stared at Jin Yue blankly. How did she obtain the Ice Emperor body? Could it be related to joining the Holy Land of Absolute Beginning? Thinking of this, I looked towards the corner of the stands, in the direction of the Holy Land of Absolute Beginning. That Wang Yi sat on the rattan chair, enjoying the massage from the maid. His expression remained calm. Jiang Dashan stared at the young man intently. Jin Yue has been in Holy Land of Absolute Beginning for 9 months and has already obtained the Extreme Ice Emperor body. This opportunity is too incredible. Let alone the Extreme Ice Emperor body, even raising the Jade Bone honored body to its peak was beyond the imagination of these people. Now, not only has the Jade Bone venerable body reached its peak, it has also condensed into an even more terrifying Extreme Ice Emperor body. Once you have a high-level Emperor body, your future achievements will surely be extraordinary. At the location of the Jin family, Jin Shikai saw the changes in Jin Yue and his pupils suddenly contracted. This. Could this be an emperor's body? Such a terrifying aura of extreme cold. As Jin Yue's father, he naturally knew how the Jade Bone body had changed. Now this 3-meter-tall body is definitely not a Jade Bone body, but an extremely powerful imperial body. Clan leader. Jin Wu stuttered as he spoke. Jin Yue seems to have the Extreme Ice Emperor body. After Jin Wu learned about the Jade Ancient Zun body, he also studied many ancient books. I saw some content written in a book, which said that after the Jade Bone body is upgraded to the peak, extremely precious Emperor Bone Jade liquid and 10,000 years of ice will be consumed. There is a chance to be promoted to the Extreme Ice Emperor body. This is a high-level Emperor body, you can imagine how rare it is. Even if the Jin family were given 10,000 years, they would still not be able to help Jin Yue break through the Extreme Ice Emperor body. When Jin Shikai heard the news, an excited smile appeared on his face. Okay. Ice Emperor body. It's so great. My daughter possesses the body of an extremely cold emperor. This is a high-level Emperor body. Low-level Emperor body is already very scary, and high-level Emperor body is even rarer. It seems that the opportunity bestowed by the Holy Lord is too generous to allow the Jade Bone body to be promoted to a high-level Emperor body. I was right to let Jin Yue join Holy Land of Absolute Beginning. Jin Wu also smiled from ear to ear, looking in the direction of the Holy Land of Absolute Beginning and noticed his granddaughter. Jin Linglong was behind the rattan chair, massaging Wang Yi diligently. He nodded with satisfaction. Okay. Linglong, press it hard. As someone close to the Holy Lord, as long as you perform well, how can your chances be bad? Think about it, even menial disciples can get such a rich opportunity. As a maid, Jean Linglong only needs to serve Wang Yi well. Just letting something flow out from her fingertips would bring her endless enjoyment. At this moment, he felt extremely fortunate for his original decision. If Jean Shirkai had not knelt down and begged the Holy Lord for a favor, and secured a precious position of maid for Jean Linglong, she would not have had the opportunity to join the Holy Land of Absolute Beginning, and would not have been able to obtain such a rich opportunity. On the stands of the Tianjin Holy Church, Li Hedong looked at the 3-meter-tall emperor's body and his pupils suddenly contracted. Originally his expression was very relaxed. But after seeing the emperor's body, he suddenly stood up from his chair and his expression became extremely excited. Could this be the legendary Extreme Ice Emperor body? How could Jin Yue obtain such a physique? Li Hedong looked towards Wang Yi in the distance. This absolute beginning saint is indeed quite capable. It is possible to cultivate Jin Yue into an Extreme Ice Emperor body in such a short period of time. No wonder the Jin family agreed to let Jin Yue join the Holy Land of Absolute Beginning. It turns out that this force is not simple. Holy Land of Absolute Beginning was in decline in the past, but with this young man at the helm, its strength instantly increased many times. A young disciple in his early 20s can challenge the 29-year-old Su Zhengyu. Before, I didn't believe that Su Zhengyu had any rivals. This Absolute Beginning Holy Lord is really capable. It seems that the distribution of power in Hangzhou is about to change. Li Hedong rubbed his sore temples and said in a heavy tone, "Now if Su Zhengyu wants to win, there is only one possibility. I have learned a set of supreme-grade skills before. Tianyang Emperor Fist. It was unleashed with the help of the extreme sun power at noon, and its power was extremely extraordinary. Su Zhengyu has been practicing this set of boxing for 10 years and has reached the great accomplishment level. The power of the technique can be brought into play to its extreme. He has two advantages. The first is one's own realm, the peak of soul formation. With a double increase, it is comparable to a strongman in the Dongxian period. Relying on the powerful strength to perform the Tianyang Emperor Fist, when pushed to the extreme, the power can be increased by 2 times. If Jin Yue's realm was not high and her Ice Emperor body had just broken through, it would be very likely that she would be defeated. Thinking of this, a glimmer of hope ignited in Li Hedong's eyes. As for the final reward of this competition, the Fenglei Secret Realm token, I really want to fight for it. There is only this one spot in the entire Hangzhou. After obtaining it, the disciple will enter into exploration and will gain extremely rich opportunities. If Jin Yue's martial arts were also of the imperial level, the time she spent practicing must have been shorter than Su Zhengyu's, and her realm was not as high as the others. As one gains strength while the other loses strength, Su Zhengyu really has a hope of defeating Jin Yue. On the ring. Su Zhengyu waved his fist to dispel the icy force. He pushed the ground hard and flew hundreds of feet high like a cannonball. He raised his right arm and roared. Sky Sun Emperor Fist. The bright sun in the sky released extremely strong golden light, shining on the right fist. The golden light merged into the fist, forming a huge ball of light that grew larger and larger, just like the bright sun in the sky. After a while, extreme yang power gathered in the fist. From a distance, it looks like there are 2 suns in the sky. With the help of the Tianyang Zun body, Su Zhengyu gathered a very strong power of the Tianyang Imperial Fist. The golden light released from his right fist was even more dazzling than the sun in the sky. Destroy it. Su Zhengyu looked at Jin Yue below, without a trace of pity in his eyes. In his opinion, as long as the opponent is his, he must use his strongest strength to defeat him. No one can stop him, even if the opponent is a strongman with the Extreme Ice Emperor body. The scorching heat radiated from the fist that was emitting golden light. The chill that had just appeared in the square was quickly extinguished by the scorching sun. Su Zhengyu swung his fist as if he was holding a sun in his hand and slammed towards Jin Yue on the ground. This punch was thrown with all the strength he had, without holding back at all. In the stands, Jin Shirkai was completely shocked when he saw this scene. The setting golden sun seemed to be falling on him, making him feel extremely uncomfortable. Yue. Get out of the way. Don't fight Su Zhengyu head-on. This is the Tianyang Emperor Fist condensed after using the Tianyang Zunti. Given Su Zhengyu's current condition, if he uses it, it's comparable to a blow from a Dongxian powerhouse. If Jin Yue only possessed the extreme Ice Emperor body, it would be difficult for her to resist this move, and she would most likely be defeated. Everyone in the square looked up at the sky. The air was eerily quiet and no one dared to speak at this time. The slowly setting golden sun weighed on everyone's hearts, making them dare not even breathe. On the ring, Jin Yue's delicate body suddenly flew up. He opened his arms, and deep blue icy power gathered on his hands. She opened her mouth and uttered 4 big words. Thousands of miles of ice. In an instant, an extremely terrifying blue cold current flew up into the sky from between his hands. The power of extreme ice spread rapidly in all directions, with Jin Yue as the core, and a thick layer of frost instantly formed on the surrounding ground. 1 foot. 2 feet. 10 feet. In the blink of an eye, a circular ice platform 10 feet thick appeared on the ring. Jin Yue stood on the ice platform, her momentum bursting out violently. A stream of extremely cold ice blue air suddenly rushed towards the sky. From a distance, it looks like a blue beam of light rushing towards the sky. Surrounding Su Zhengyu. Su Zhengyu felt an extremely cold force ahead of him. Even though he was holding a golden sun in his hand that was as hot as fire, he was unable to drive away the extreme cold. The biting cold penetrated the skin, turning it purple. When the golden sun in his hand encountered the icy blue cold current, there was a loud crackling sound and white smoke emerged. In just the blink of an eye, it was destroyed by the extreme cold storm. There was originally nothing in the blue light column, just an icy current. Under Jin Yue's control, an ice pillar with a diameter of 100 feet formed from the bottom and spread upwards at an extremely fast speed. In just a blink of an eye, Su Zhengyu was frozen in the extremely cold ice column. The icicles were a deep blue, shining brightly in the sunlight. Su Zhengyu could be seen frozen inside the pillar, like a piece of amber trapped in a worm, at the mercy of others. Those strong men with good eyesight could see that Su Zhengyu's expression was extremely ferocious, as if he was under some irresistible force. No matter how hard he struggled, he couldn't free himself from the icicle. There was silence on the stage. Everyone was shocked when they saw the icy blue pillars. The power of extreme cold spread from the icicles, and a thick layer of frost formed on the ground. Some people with lower strength were attacked by the icy force and a layer of white frost formed on their bodies. They were actually frozen there. Those who were slightly stronger quickly released the spirit chi in their bodies to drive away the cold. Even so, a layer of frost formed on his eyebrows and his lips were purple. It's too cold. Oh. I feel like I'm going to be frozen to death. What kind of martial arts is this? Just the aftermath of the spread is so terrifying. Oh my God, Su Zhengyu is frozen in the icicle. I'm afraid he's dead. They were frozen to death by the extreme cold just in the square. It was hard to imagine how tragic the ending would be for Su Zhengyu, who suffered this blow head-on. In just a moment, he was frozen into an ice sculpture. And it was also sealed in that extremely cold ice column. Even if there was still life in his body, he could not break the rock-hard icicle. It was like a dark blue coffin, completely sealing him inside. These people imagined being enemies with Jin Yue and being frozen to death in the icicle, and they all shuddered with fear. Even a powerful Dongxian expert who is 1 realm stronger than Jin Yue cannot face such a terrifying icy force. One even has to reach 2 realms higher before being able to directly contend with the icy force. These people knew that Jin Yue's martial arts were too terrifying. In the middle of the stands, the city lord Jiang Dashan shuddered as the icy force invaded his body. He quickly used the spirit chi in his body to drive the cold out of his body. It's so cold. What kind of skill is this? It's so scary. He possessed the strength of the 8th layer of the profound realm. Even though he was not targeted, the cold air still invaded his body and froze him to death. It can be imagined that if he suffered this attack head-on, his fate would most likely be the same as Su Zhengyu's, being sealed in that blue icicle. Even if you try your best, you can't escape. Ma Hongfu next to him shuddered. City Lord, this martial art seems to be the legendary ice-sealed miles. 10,000 miles of ice. Jiang Dashan was stunned. He had never heard of the name of this martial art before. Ma Hongfu shuddered and said tremblingly, I have seen in an ancient book that there is an icy-type martial art, which is Emperor rank supreme grade, and its name is Frozen 10,000 miles. After using it, the extreme cold force can freeze the space, creating a scene of thousands of miles of ice. When you reach the late stage, you can be said to be in control of the situation by yourself, and 10,000 men cannot stop you. What? After hearing the grade, Jiang Dashan scratched his ears, thinking that he had heard it wrong. Ma Hongfu, say it again, it was too cold just now, I think my ears were frozen. What grade is it? Ma Hongfu rubbed his hands violently and breathed out air to drive away the coldness in his body. City Lord, this set of martial arts is of Emperor rank supreme grade. Oh my god. Oh my god. Jiang Dashan was completely stunned. He was in a daze, and the extreme cold air entered his body, causing him to shiver violently. Emperor rank supreme grade technique. How could Jin Yue learn to this level? Where did she get it from? Not to mention Emperor rank, even Emperor rank martial arts are extremely rare. As the city lord, he had only learned one set of imperial grade skills, and the grade was not very high, only the imperial middle grade. I have never seen a high-grade martial art, let alone an emperor rank 1. That is definitely an unattainable dream. Unexpectedly, Jin Yue actually learned the Bingfeng Wanli. Not only did he control the extreme ice emperor body, he also possessed such powerful martial arts. No wonder his power was so strong just now that he instantly sealed Su Zhengyu in the ice pillar. Ma Hongfu looked in the direction of the Holy Land of Absolute Beginning. The man leaning on the rattan chair was still calm and relaxed, leisurely enjoying the massage from the maid. It was as if everything that had just happened was already under his control. From beginning to end, there was no feeling of worry. City Lord, this Holy Land of Absolute Beginning is probably not simple. Look at the Holy Lord Wang Yi. He is calm and relaxed, sipping tea leisurely. It seems that he had expected Jin Yue to defeat Su Zhengyu. That is to say, this martial art was most likely passed on to Jin Yue by him. After hearing this, Jiang Dashan nodded heavily. You are right. The Jin family definitely cannot have this level of skills, and it is impossible for them to help Jin Yue break through to the extreme ice emperor body. So, it must be the 9 months since I joined Holy Land of Absolute Beginning that gave me these opportunities. Oh my god. The opportunities in the Holy Land of Absolute Beginning are so abundant. Not only did he train Jin Yue to become an emperor, he also gave her a set of emperor rank supreme grade skills. You have to be a saintess to get such a great opportunity, right? I can't imagine how rich the resources of Sacred Land are. I am so envious. Ma Hongfu also nodded. The city lord is right. The Holy Land of Absolute Beginning may not be the Sacred Land from before. I believe that under the leadership of the new Holy Lord, it will surely prosper and develop. Jiang Dashan nodded in agreement. You're right. Holy Land of Absolute Beginning has been transformed. This Wang Yi helped Jin Yue to upgrade to the Emperor rank and gave her a set of Emperor rank skills. He is much more terrifying than we imagined. After I hand out the rewards, I will meet Wang Yi to see what he is really capable of. The other side of the stands. Jin Shikai was so excited that he trembled all over when he saw his daughter perform such terrifying martial arts. In the excitement, the cold air invaded his body and he sneezed. Chief, the attack just now seemed to be an Emperor rank martial art. Jin Wu said excitedly. Emperor rank. Jin Shikai was stunned, recalling the scene he had just seen, and nodded vigorously. You are right. Imperial-level martial arts can never have such terrible power. I never thought that EU not only obtained the Jade Maiden Emperor skill in the Holy Land of Absolute Beginning, but also received a reward from the Holy Lord and obtained an Emperor rank martial arts skill. Holy Land of Absolute Beginning is such a great opportunity. Even menial disciples can obtain 2 Emperor rank techniques. In other sacred lands, the total number of Emperor rank skills is only about 2 or 3. How can we compare? Jin Shikai was very satisfied with the identity of this menial disciple. He would have no complaints even if Jin Yue had to be a menial disciple for the rest of his life and guard the mountain gate. Jin Wu looked towards Jin Yue, and after thinking of something, he trembled with excitement. He took a few more breaths of cool air. Jin Yue shined in the youth conference this time. She was so powerful that she could even defeat Su Zhengyu from Soul Formation Realm. From now on, she will be famous in Hangzhou. Think about it, Who would dare to provoke our Jin family? From now on, our Jin family will definitely sit firmly on the throne of the #1 family in Jinling City. All forces must act according to our wishes. Good. 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 When Jin Shirkai heard this, he laughed out loud and his tongue was almost frozen by the cold air. Isn't it? Jin Yue shines this time, and our Jin family really benefits from it. Who will dare to mess with our Jin family in the future? Just think about it. 2 members of our Jin family, one joins Holy Land of Absolute Beginning as a menial disciple. The other joins Holy Land of Absolute Beginning as a maid. What an extremely glorious thing. It seems that these 2 positions are not very glorious, but those people want to get them but cannot. Jin Wu looked towards Wang Yi and said expectantly, I hope the Holy Lord will give Linglong more opportunities and let her grow up faster. I will count on Linglong to take care of me in my old age. Li Hedong finally panicked at this time. No one could have imagined that Su Zhengyu would be defeated by Jin Yue. Emperor rank supreme grade technique. Thousands of miles of ice. Su Zhengyu's loss was not unfair. As the leader of the Tianqian holy religion, he is extremely powerful. It can be seen that Jin Yue's technique of using the ice 1,000 miles is extremely skilled. At such a young age, you have already cultivated the ice 10,000 miles to the great accomplishment realm. Jin Yue is not simple. This absolute beginning saint has trained such a good disciple. It's not easy. Li Hedong knew that without some special opportunities, it would be impossible for the emperor rank technique to reach the great accomplishment realm in a short period of time. Now, we must rescue Su Zhengyu. Li Hedong looked at the tall icicle in front of him. In the sunlight, the icicles shone with a light blue luster. Su Zhengyu in the middle was completely frozen. If you delay any longer, you might actually die in there. The next moment, Li Hedong appeared next to the icicle, swung his fist, and smashed it with all his strength. He is a powerful void formation expert, 2 realms higher than soul formation. Divided into Violet Palace, Soul Formation, Dongxian, Kongji, Venerable. After bursting out with all your strength, you will definitely be able to shatter the icicle. Boom. The fist hit the icicle, causing a loud bang. Looking at the icicle again, there was only a shallow dent where it was hit. Dozens of broken ice crystals fell to the ground. Hiss. Li Hedong took a breath and stared at the huge icicle in front of him. Isn't it too hard? With this sect leader's strength, can one punch only break this much? The icicles are 10 feet in diameter and 100 feet high. Even though the powerful Kong Ji exerted all his strength, he could only leave a shallow dent on it. If we want to smash it all, it will take at least several hours. This vast expanse of ice is so terrifying. If I were sealed in there, I would probably end up like Su Zhengyu. The people in the stands kept exclaiming when they saw this scene. Oh my god, Jin Yue's icicles are so strong. That was a powerful Kong Ji. He attacked with all his strength, but it only broke a little. Is this the power of the Emperor rank supreme grade technique? If it is performed on a large scale, it will become a group martial arts. These people didn't know much about Emperor rank techniques and greatly underestimated its power. Especially for someone who possesses the extreme ice Emperor body, using the ice 1,000 miles at the great accomplishment level can double its power. Li Hedong looked towards Jin Yue. Yue, Su Zhengyu has already lost, can you remove this icicle? Yeah. Jin Yue and Su Zhengyu had no deep hatred. It was enough to win. There was no need to kill him completely. Break. With a light breath, the icicles in the air instantly disintegrated, turning into tiny ice crystals that scattered all over the ground. Crash. The ice crystals fell on the platform and rolled towards the stands on both sides. The audience who were closer to the stands felt the temperature suddenly drop around them, and many of them were shivering from the cold. Su Zhengyu turned into an ice sculpture, falling straight down, but was caught by the quick-eyed and quick-handed Li Hedong, who then flew back to the stands. The referee immediately announced the result of the match. Holy Land of Absolute Beginning, Jin Yue wins. After the results were announced, there was cheering from the stands. Holy Land of Absolute Beginning. It's amazing that they can teach such an excellent disciple. Jin Yue, you are the goddess in my heart. This Holy Land of Absolute Beginning is the dark horse, with both the Emperor body and the Emperor power. I want to join too. The holy land of absolute beginning is about to rise. There were tens of thousands of spectators in the stands, including people from various forces, spread across the entire Hangzhou. This battle completely made the holy land of absolute beginning famous. From then on, no one dared to underestimate this force. A prompt sounded in Wang Yi's mind. Ding! Your disciple Jin Yue won the first place in the Hangzhou Youth Conference. Mission completed. Congratulations, you have received the reward, Extreme Dao Emperor Weapon Gift Pack. Turn it on. Wang Yi's eyes sparkled with excitement. For the past 6 months, the Extreme Dao Emperor Weapon has been on my mind. Ding! You opened the Extreme Dao Emperor Weapon Gift Pack and received Ancient Dragon Scale Fist. Consciousness enters the system world. On the empty land, there was a glove that was shining with divine light, and an extremely terrifying dragon race aura was released from the glove. The gloves are golden in color, and when you look closer, you can see that they are made up of fine dragon scales. So powerful. Wang Yi looked at the Ancient Dragon Scale Fist, his eyes shining brightly. Ancient Dragon Scale Fist, woven from the dragon scales of an ancient golden dragon, tempered with the blood of a golden dragon, is an Extreme Dao Emperor weapon. When performing boxing, you can carry the power of the ancient golden dragon, making the power of martial arts explode 50 times. Dragon scales are extremely defensive and can be used as a defensive weapon to catch the enemy's Extreme Dao Emperor weapon with bare hands. Just punching can increase strength amplification 50 times. Good stuff. Wang Yi's eyes lit up with excitement. This is definitely a very practical Extreme Dao Emperor weapon. According to the introduction, even without using any martial arts, simply using the Ancient Dragon Scale Fist to punch can increase the power by 50 times. How terrifying is it that the Great Emperor has 50 times the power? This is why those great emperors who possess the Extreme Dao Emperor weapon are invincible among those of the same level. Can even defeat enemies of higher levels. Because the Extreme Dao Emperor weapon is too powerful. 8 Desolate Emperor Body. Even if you cultivate it to the Great Accomplishment Realm, the power you gain is only 5 times. When you reach the Transcendent Realm, your strength will only increase 10-fold. At the peak level, the improvement is still a little bit higher, about 20 times. This Extreme Dao Emperor weapon has a 50-fold increase in power, far exceeding the power of the Emperor Body. Extreme Dao Emperor weapon, the grade is far higher than the Emperor Body, and the increase obtained is very powerful. Wang Yi stretched out his palm forward, and the Ancient Dragon Scale Fist flew to his palm, automatically adjusting its size and fitting perfectly with his palm. This dragon scale can change its size at will and fit the body even with the body of a god. Buzz. The palm trembled slightly. An extreme sense of power emerges on the arms. Powerful dragon chi emanated from the gloves and formed a golden dragon on the arms. From a distance, there was a golden dragon coiled on Wang Yi's right arm. The dragon head landed on the back of his hand, glaring at the enemy in front. It looks extremely majestic. So strong. This punch will surely cause the sky to collapse and the earth to split, and the mountains and rivers to stop flowing. The system rewards are really great. As the number of disciples increases and their realm becomes higher, the rewards they receive become better and better. The rewards for the next mission will definitely be even more generous. Ding! New mission. You have already shown your prowess in Hangzhou. Next, let the disciples in the sect participate in stronger challenges. Ding! The Ancient Sword Island is about to appear. Send a disciple to win the first place in the Ancient Sword list of the Sword Island. Ding! Reward, Sword Type Extreme Dao Emperor Weapon. Hearing about this reward, Wang Yi's eyes lit up. Sword Type Extreme Dao Emperor Weapon. This is a great reward. Now, with the 10,000 Swords Emperor Bone, he is destined to embark on the path of Sword Dao in the future. The Sword Type Extreme Dao Emperor Weapon is also what I need. The Heaven-Slaying Sword Drawing Technique, combined with the Extreme Emperor Sword, will unleash terrifying divine power. Any enemy that stands in his way will be cut in half. So, I really hope to get this reward. Wang Yi touched his chin and thought, there is a sword list in the Ancient Sword Island, which records the ranking of the sword techniques of each Sword Dao prodigy in the past 100,000 years. Whoever comprehends the more profound the sword technique is, the higher his ranking will be. It's probably not easy to take the first place. Old Man Tianji should know some secrets. I'll ask him later. The ancient sword tower will appear in every corner of Hangzhou, and every time it appears, it will attract the participation of major sword Dao prodigy. Since it will take a year for it to appear, it is enough time for disciples from various states to arrive. In 100,000 years, there must be many sword Dao prodigy with emperor body who created a glorious history on the ancient sword island. Qin Feiyu now only has the sword blade venerable bone, which is still some distance away from the emperor bone. It seems that we need to help Qin Feiyu improve his sword bone as soon as possible. This time, you need to upgrade your sword bone to an apex level emperor bone, so that you have enough qualifications to dominate the ancient sword island. Consciousness returns to reality. After cleaning up the place, Jiang Dashan stood on the high platform, his eyes swept across the many forces, and stayed at the holy land of absolute beginning for a while. This youth conference is extremely exciting. Especially in the last match, Jin Yue won the match with great style. She really deserved the title. And let me see the power of the holy land of absolute beginning. It's amazing that you have trained your disciple to be so prodigy. At this point, the audience responded with warm applause. Among the many forces, only one force did not applaud. Luo Yuanqing, the leader of the Eight Desolations Holy Sect, looked towards Wang Yi's position with flickering eyes. Holy land of absolute beginning. Why are there so many great opportunities? This holy lord is not simple. The disappearance of Meng Feilong and Tang Chen must be related to this. Previously, it was believed that Holy Land of Absolute Beginning was too weak to kill two powerful men in the sect. But now it seems that since Wang Yi can teach such a strong disciple, his own strength must not be too weak. If we kill them both, it will be possible. Luo Yuanqing glared at Jin Shikai fiercely. Old man, you must have brought Meng Feilong and Tang Chen to kill them. And you lied to me. Damn it. Luo Yuanqing and Meng Feilong joined the Eight Desolations Holy Sect at the same time. They grew up together and have a very good relationship. Meng Feilong's disappearance made Luo Yuanqing extremely upset, and he always wanted to find the culprit. Holy Land of Absolute Beginning is not easy, it's best to ask the ancestor for help. He decided to take his ancestor to the Holy Land of Absolute Beginning to find out the truth. If your strength allows, take revenge. At that time, wouldn't it be a good thing to accept Jin Yue as your apprentice? Jiang Dashan continued, I hereby announce that the ranking of forces in Hangzhou has changed. Holy Land of Absolute Beginning, take the lead. The youth conference is not only a competition between disciples, but also a competition between forces. The ranking of forces will change according to the ranking of disciples. Jin Yue is so strong that it is not an exaggeration for Holy Land of Absolute Beginning to take the top spot. It is very rare for the last place to be directly promoted to the first place. There are many benefits to being number one. The disciple recruiting conference can be held in the core area, with a most conspicuous large stage. Every disciple who arrives here can see the Holy Land of Absolute Beginning at first sight. The disciples who receive it will definitely be better. More disciples with potential are willing to join this force. Next, please invite Jin Yue to come on stage and receive the reward. As soon as the voice fell, everyone in the audience looked at Jin Yue with envy. Jin Yue walked slowly onto the stage with her lotus feet. Her long legs, as white as jade, shone with an alluring luster in the sun, and her slender waist made countless young disciples crazy. Jiang Dashan turned his wrist and took out a token the size of a palm. The words, Wind and Thunder, are engraved on the front, and faintly, there is a force of thunder emanating from the token. This token can bring 3 people into the Fenglei secret realm together. If you want to use it, it's better to take the Holy Lord with you, it will be safer. Jin Yue nodded slightly and stretched out her jade hand to take the sign. Thank you for the reminder, City Lord. You're welcome. Jiang Dashan smiled with satisfaction. You've won the championship of the youth conference. Do you have anything to say? Jin Yue stood in the center of the platform, her eyes swept across the audience present, paused for a moment at the Jin family's position, and finally fell on Wang Yi. Thanks to the Saint Lord's cultivation, Yue was able to improve her aptitude so much in a short period of time, and her strength has also greatly improved. It can be said that without the Holy Lord, there would be no EU today. After saying this, the whole audience turned their eyes to Wang Yi again. Before, some people speculated that Jin Yue got the opportunity through her own experience outside. But this means that all opportunities are obtained from the Holy Land of Absolute Beginning. Oh my God! This is the Holy Land of Absolute Beginning. It will train Yue to be an emperor. This opportunity is too good, right? I also want to obtain. I want to join the Holy Land of Absolute Beginning. Jiang Dashan nodded secretly. This Holy Land of Absolute Beginning is really going to rise. A full moon rises in the night sky. The vast galaxy slowly rotates with the full moon. Heavenly Secrets Pavilion. On the top floor observatory, old man Tianji brewed a pot of tea and filled a cup for Wang Yi. Please use it. Old man Tianji's words were still calm, just like before. Wang Yi picked up the celadone teacup, blew away the green leaves floating on it, and took a sip. Good tea. Old man Tianji smiled faintly and said, Taoist Tao integrates the taste of friends, and it is good tea. Holy Land of Absolute Beginning, it shines brightly in Hangzhou. I'm afraid it will soar to the sky. Wang Yi put the teacup on the stone table and said softly, it's just a small fight, not presentable. Just a small fight. Old man Tianji smiled bitterly. Cultivating a disciple with emperor physique aptitude and teaching him emperor rank skills, is this considered a small fight? This absolute beginning lord is really hard to figure out. Even with his divine power, he was unable to deduce the young man's origins, so one could imagine that his identity must be extraordinary. Is the fellow Taoist here for the matter of the ancient Sword Island? That's right. Wang Yi smiled slightly, nothing can be hidden from old man Tianji. If you have anything you want to ask, just ask. Old man Tianji picked up the teacup and took a sip. Wang Yi raised his head and looked to the north, where a sword island was floating in the void. There is an ancient sword list on Sword Island, which records the unparalleled genius of 100,000 years. Do you know how powerful the number 1 swordsman is? The first person to comprehend swordsmanship. Old man Tianji stroked his goatee, he is a legendary figure. Do you know the Xingyuan Sword Emperor? Xingyuan Sword Emperor. Wang Yi's pupils shrank slightly, it's him. On Hidden Dragon Continent, there is a Sword Dao legend who is born with an apex-level Sword Emperor body. Elder Tianji said in a leisurely voice, when the Xingyuan Sword Emperor was young, he entered the ancient Sword Island and comprehended a set of Emperor rank supreme grade swordsmanship from the Sword Monument. Xingyuan Swordsmanship. It only took me 20 days to comprehend the sword technique. With an impressive appearance, I have reached the top of the Sword Enlightenment Monument. The people who came after him, even if they had an apex-level Sword Emperor body and comprehended Emperor rank supreme grade sword techniques, their speed could not surpass his. In the end, this person became an emperor with the Xingyuan sword technique and was named Xingyuan Sword Emperor. Establish the supreme power, Xingyuan Imperial Palace. On the mainland, various forces are divided according to their strength, and can be divided into sects, holy religions, sacred lands, and imperial palaces. Sacred land is not the strongest force, the imperial palace is. Every imperial palace must have a great emperor in charge, otherwise it can only be called a sacred land. 20 days. Wang Yi frowned. This speed exceeded his expectations. After the ancient Sword Island appears, it can exist for 3 months. During these 3 months, he learned the sword techniques from the Sword Monument. Generally speaking, 3 months is considered relatively fast if one can comprehend a set of imperial sword techniques. Only those with emperor rank qualifications can comprehend emperor rank swordsmanship. Moreover, it will take more than 2 months. It took Xingyuan Sword Emperor 20 days to comprehend a set of emperor rank supreme grade sword techniques. This kind of sword Dao aptitude is somewhat terrifying. It will be difficult for future generations to surpass it. Wang Yi said earnestly, when the Xingyuan Sword Emperor entered the ancient Sword Island, his sword body level was not low, right? Yes. Elder Tianji nodded heavily. Back then, Xingyuan Sword Emperor encountered a sword Dao opportunity. Qiankuan Sword Emperor's body broke through to the transformation realm, and his sword Dao aptitude was greatly improved. That's when he entered the Sword Island. The Emperor's body has reached perfection. Wang Yi narrowed his eyes slightly, no wonder he was able to comprehend a set of Emperor rank supreme grade swordsmanship in just 20 days. Every time the Emperor body advances to a higher level, his comprehension will be greatly improved, and he will comprehend sword techniques faster. Below the Dongxian realm, those who can elevate their imperial body into the transformation realm are as rare as phoenix feathers and unicorn horns and are extremely hard to find. The Sword Enlightenment Monument will only record the speed of comprehension when entering the Sword Island for the first time. If I enter for the second time, I will not have the chance to be on the Ancient Sword list. The mission this time is to let Qin Feiyu win the title of Xingyuan Sword Emperor and get the first place. To comprehend a set of Emperor rank supreme grade sword techniques, the time limit is 20 days. Otherwise, the mission fails. Thank you. Wang Yi chatted with Old Man Tianji for a while and then left. Old Man Tianji stood with his hands behind his back, gazing at the starry sky. A new star is rising in the east. Next to it, there are several accompanying stars, releasing brilliant light together. This scene startled Old Man Tianji slightly. The main star rises, accompanied by the imperial star. Holy Land of Absolute Beginning is becoming more and more complicated. Holy Land of Absolute Beginning. Wang Yi brought Jin Yue and landed in front of the mountain gate, where they ran into Qin Feiyu who was sweeping the floor. Greetings, Holy Lord. Qin Feiyu quickly put down the broom in his hand and bowed. Yeah. Wang Yi responded softly. Senior Sister Yu, did you win first place? Qin Feiyu looked at the hot woman and his gaze lingered on her long legs for a moment. His Adam's apple moved and he swallowed his saliva. He quickly moved his eyes away. There was a bright smile on Jin Yue's face. I have accomplished my mission. I won first place in the youth conference this time. Congratulations, Senior Sister. Qin Feiyu smiled knowingly. We, Holy Land of Absolute Beginning, deserve this honor. Feiyu, the next test is left to you. Wang Yi said earnestly. Ah. Qin Feiyu was stunned. Holy Lord, you have something to give me. Wang Yi pointed to the northeast, where a sword island was floating in the sky. Look at that sword island. 1 year later, it will land above Jinling City. You can enter and learn sword techniques from it. Qin Feiyu's eyes suddenly lit up. Sword Island. Learn sword techniques. With sword bone in his possession, he had long felt a connection with the floating sword island. This time when Wang Yi mentioned it, he was even more eager to try it. Saint Lord, rest assured. This time when I enter Sword Island, I will definitely comprehend a set of sword techniques. Wang Yi put his hands behind his back and said in a leisurely voice, Feiyu, I want to give you an important task. Holy Lord, please speak. There is a Sword Enlightenment ranking on Sword Island, which lists the rankings of Sword Dao prodigy over the past 100,000 years. I will let you take the first place. Qin Feiyu clenched the broom in his hand, his eyes shining with determination. Don't worry, Holy Lord. I will do my best to win this honor for you. This matter is not that simple. Wang Yi put his hands behind his back, his white robe fluttering in the wind. The person who ranks first on the sword list now is Xingyuan Sword Emperor. It only took me 20 days to comprehend a set of Emperor rank supreme grade sword techniques. If you want to defeat him, you must comprehend it within 20 days. Qin Feiyu's hands froze and his eyes became dull. Xingyuan Sword Emperor. The name of this Sword Emperor is widely known among the people, and I have actually heard of it. You asked me to defeat the Xingyuan Sword Emperor who created history. Xingyuan Sword Emperor is the idol in my heart, an unattainable existence. Now he is just Wanzuan Sword Bone. How can he be compared with Xingyuan Sword Emperor who has the Sword Emperor body? You don't have to worry yet. Wang Yi gently placed his hand on Qin Feiyu's shoulder. I asked you to challenge the record of Xingyuan Sword Emperor, so I naturally prepared some opportunities for you. Opportunity. Qin Feiyu really couldn't imagine what kind of opportunity could elevate his noble bones to the level of Emperor bones. It must be extremely difficult. After Wang Yi told Jin Yue to practice, he took Qin Feiyu and landed on Heavenly Sword Peak. There is a magnificent sword palace here, with powerful sword energy floating outside the palace. Feiyu, remember not to mention anything about what you will see to anyone else, do you hear me? Wang Yi said earnestly. After this period of contact, I got to know Qin Feiyu's character. This is a very honest child who truly regards Holy Land of Absolute Beginning as his home. That's why he was allowed to come in here. Feiyu swears that nothing concerning the Holy Land of Absolute Beginning will be revealed. Qin Feiyu said solemnly. Yes. Wang Yi waved his hand, opened the door of the Sword Palace, and stepped in first. Follow me. Inside the Sword Palace, there were tens of thousands of circular sword platforms, each with a long sword inserted on it. Powerful sword energy was released from the sword platform and flew towards the altar in the middle. There is a bright white light ball in the middle. Looking closely, one could see that a baby was being conceived from the sword energy. This. Qin Feiyu was stunned by the sword platforms around him as soon as he stepped into the Sword Palace. Such a terrifying sword Dao aura. Is this the Emperor's sword? And that one, it's also an Imperial sword. Oh my God. As soon as I entered the Sword Palace, I saw more than a dozen Imperial swords. This is just a corner of the Sword Palace, and there are so many Imperial swords. Doesn't that mean there are more inside? It's hard to imagine how many Imperial swords there are here. Qin Feiyu walked forward a little further and saw more and more sword platforms. The entrance we just saw is just the tip of the iceberg of the Sword Palace. He was seen looking at the sword platforms tremblingly, his voice trembling slightly. 100. 200. 500 patterns. 1,000. So many, isn't it terrible? And they are all Emperor swords. Oh my God. How many Emperor swords are there in the Holy Land of Absolute Beginning? Qin Feiyu was completely stunned. I never imagined that this sword palace was filled with Imperial swords. I had thought there would be swords of other grades here. Even though the Holy Lord had said before that all the people in the Sword Palace were Emperor rank, he didn't take it seriously. Who would have thought it was actually true? Strands of powerful sword energy were released from the sword platform and gathered towards the altar in the middle. Qin Feiyu took a look and saw a ball of bright white light on the sword platform in the middle, which seemed to be nurturing something. Could this be the legendary sword embryo? Oh my God. There are even sword embryos here. How terrifying. When I was in the village before, I often heard the village chief talk about the above things about Sword Dao. Sword Dao has an extremely rare treasure called the sword embryo. If one is a mortal body without any qualifications, one can obtain the sword emperor body after merging with the sword embryo. Possessing sword Dao aptitude, after fusing with the sword embryo, one's own sword Dao emperor body, or emperor bone, can fuse with the sword embryo to become a more terrifying physique. Qin Feiyu looked towards Wang Yi's tall back. The Holy Lord is nurturing a sword embryo here, probably for his own sword Dao emperor. I still remember that when Wang Yi showed his sword Dao talent, he had an extremely terrifying emperor bone, an existence that he could not imagine. Soon, the two of them arrived at the center of the Sword Palace. Qin Feiyu also didn't understand what sword Dao opportunity the Holy Lord had prepared this time. How can I upgrade my Wanzuan sword bone to the qualifications of an emperor bone? Qin Feiyu looked at the altar in the middle and asked, Holy Lord, is this the legendary sword embryo altar? The so-called sword embryo altar can form a sword embryo after absorbing sword energy. Wang Yi nodded. Good. You are quite knowledgeable. I will give you some ancient books on sword Dao, you can take a look at them. It's always good to know more. Thank you, Holy Lord. Qin Feiyu smiled excitedly. He liked sword Dao and hoped to read more ancient sword Dao books to enrich his experience. Wang Yi waved his wrist, and a circular altar with a diameter of about 10 feet appeared next to him. It is about the same size as the sword embryo altar and is shaped like a lotus platform. Wang Yi said, Feiyu, if you want to upgrade your Wanzuan sword bone, just use this altar. What is this? Qin Feiyu looked towards the edge of the altar. There were mysterious lines carved on the side, which looked extremely mysterious, and there was a terrifying sword Dao power gathering on it. What's this? I feel like there's a strong sword Dao aura on it. Wang Yi said softly, this is the sword bone altar. If you have a sword bone, you can sit on the altar and absorb the sword energy gathered around to temper your sword bone. What? It's so easy to temper the sword bone. Qin Feiyu was suddenly shocked. I've heard from the village chief before that improving sword bone is much more difficult than improving other physical qualities. It requires a large amount of natural treasures or rare spiritual fluids. I have never heard of using this method to improve sword bone. Wang Yi pointed towards the sword platform. There are many sword stands here, where the emperor's swords are stored. Each Emperor sword can release extremely powerful sword energy. Placing a sword bone altar here can quickly absorb the sword energy to temper your 10,000 honored sword bone. It will soon be able to be refined to its peak state. If you want to promote sword bone to Emperor rank, you must first upgrade it to the peak realm, then use the Emperor Bone Jade Fluid and find a suitable sword Dao treasure, then you can break through the shackles and transform it into Emperor Bone. Now the ancient sword altar of the sword has a large number of imperial swords. As long as the altar is placed here, it can absorb the sword energy released from the surroundings and help Qin Fei to temper the sword bone. Since Qin Feiyu's sword bone was only of the honor grade, the amount of sword energy he needed to absorb was not too much. At the beginning, there were only a few dozen swords, and the sword energy was enough to help him temper it. Don't worry about affecting the formation of the sword embryo. Moreover, Qin Feiyu's sword bone will be upgraded and he can get rich rewards. Can reveal more treasures related to sword Dao. What? It's so easy to upgrade sword bone. When Qin Feiyu heard Wang Yi's words, he was stunned. Holy Lord, this sword bone altar must be the treasure of sword Dao, right? Wang Yi nodded gently. I guess so. Okay, now you sit cross-legged in the center of the altar, and I will help you absorb the sword energy. Thank you, Holy Lord, for your gift. Qin Feiyu quickly knelt on the ground and kowtowed 3 times to Wang Yi. Then, sit cross-legged in the center of the altar. Wang Yi quickly formed hundreds of seals with his hands, put his fingers together, and pointed at the imperial sword outside the altar sword palace. Sniff sniff. There were about 50 circular sword platforms, emitting a golden light, which had an inexplicable connection with the sword bone altar. At this time, the sword energy released from the 50 circular platforms no longer gathered towards the sword embryo altar, but merged into the bottom of the sword bone altar. Above the lotus pedestal is a round throne, engraved with mysterious sword Dao grooves. After the sword energy merged into the lotus-shaped altar, the entire altar released a golden light, which flowed along the groove of the sword Dao below and slowly gathered towards the position where Qin Feiyu was sitting. An extremely terrifying sword Dao aura merged into Qin Feiyu's body, gathered in his chest, and merged with the Wanzuan sword bone. I just felt a sharp pain in my chest. Extremely terrifying golden lights continuously merged into sword bone. There are a total of 5 sword Dao patterns on Wanzuan sword bone. Every additional sword Dao pattern can make the sword Dao aptitude stronger. At this moment, the golden light seemed to transform into a sharp sword, carving a new sword Dao pattern on the sword bone. Qin Feiyu suddenly broke out in a cold sweat on his back, and it felt like someone was carving his bones with a knife. He clenched his fists tightly, his nails piercing into his palms to resist the extreme pain. Wang Yi said earnestly, Feiyu, this stage will be very difficult at the beginning, you have to persevere, and it will be much better after you adapt. Qin Feiyu just nodded slightly and didn't even have the strength to speak. All his strength was concentrated on the sword bone in his chest to counteract the severe pain caused by the ascension. Sniff sniff. Another stream of golden sword energy was released from the sword platform and merged into the sword bone altar. The sword Dao groove of the lotus throne continuously emitted golden sword Dao power, which spread to Qin Feiyu's body and merged into his body. The sword Dao aura in the body is getting stronger and stronger. On the ribs, a new sword Dao pattern slowly appeared. About a day passed. The first sword Dao pattern is completely formed. Qin Feiyu gritted his teeth and persisted without uttering a single sound. Wang Yi saw this scene and nodded with satisfaction. This Qin Feiyu has extraordinary sword Dao aptitude and extremely strong willpower. He will definitely become a sword Dao expert in the future. Now all he needs is some time. Once he possesses the Emperor rank sword bone, he will soar to great heights. I also believe that Qin Feiyu will become a powerful swordsman in the Holy Land of Absolute beginning in the future. Wang Yi said to Qin Feiyu. Now the first sword bone pattern has been formed. I only need 2 more to upgrade the 10,000 sword bone to the entry level. Wanzuan sword bone initially had 5 sword Dao lines. As the lines increase, the sword Dao aptitude will become stronger and stronger, and when the total number reaches 8, it will reach the basic accomplishment realm. Like Wang Yi's 10,000 sword Emperor bone, it has 50 sword Dao lines at the beginning. Even if 10,000 sword bones reached the great accomplishment realm, they could not be compared with the 10,000 sword Emperor bones. Wang Yi let Qin Feiyu rest for an hour. Then, continue to control the sword platform in the distance, releasing golden sword energy and merging it into the sword bone altar. The golden light flowed along the groove of the sword Dao, merged into Qin Feiyu's body, and continued to help him temper the sword bone. Just like that, sword bone was improving rapidly. 2 days passed in the blink of an eye. A strong sword Dao aura emanated from Qin Feiyu's body. Wanzuan sword bone. Basic accomplishment. At this point, sword bone had a total of 8 sword Dao lines, and had finally reached the basic accomplishment realm in just 3 days. Isn't this too fast? Qin Feiyu wiped the sweat from his forehead. Although his body was tired, his eyes were full of excitement. I can feel that my sword bone has been greatly improved, which is about 60% of its previous strength. When I study swordsmanship in the future, I will be much faster than before. Moreover, after the appearance of these 3 sword Dao lines, the previously difficult to comprehend sword Dao mysteries that were previously cultivated through the heaven-slaying sword drawing technique soon became clear. I believe it won't be long before I can completely control it. A reminder sounded in Wang Yi's mind. Ding! You helped disciple Qin Feiyu upgrade his sword bone and received a venerable level gift pack. Another gift bag, not bad. This honorable rank should refer to Qin Feiyu's qualifications. The higher the physical fitness, the better the gift package reward. Open the gift package. Ding! You opened the Divine Sect gift pack and received a reward, a bottle of extreme sword holy water. His consciousness entered the system space and opened the exquisite jade bottle. A strong sword energy spurted out from the mouth of the bottle, forming a giant sword 1,000 feet long in the sky. What a strong sword Dao aura! Wang Yi looked up at the giant sword. His 10,000 swords emperor bones were stirring under this giant sword. It is enough to show that this giant sword is not an ordinary object. Extreme sword holy water containing the ultimate power of sword Dao, can be used to temper sword bone. Sword venerable bone, please do not use this holy water lightly, as you cannot withstand the strong power contained in it. Kendo Emperor Bone uses this holy water to easily improve the quality of the Emperor Bone and advance to a higher level. Ancient sword body, using holy water, also has a certain effect. Wang Yi's eyes lit up. This sword holy water can even temper an ancient sword. It's really a good thing. The ancient sword body is stronger than the Emperor Bone. If Qin Feiyu could possess the ancient sword body, he could instantly kill Xingyuan Sword Emperor on the ancient sword island. One can even comprehend the legendary ancient emperor swordsmanship. Wang Yi is very interested in the ancient imperial swordsmanship. The jade bottle contains 100 drops of sword saint water, and each drop is extremely precious. 100 drops, a little less. But I have the imperial massage skill, 1 drop can produce the effect of 10 drops. 100 drops equals 1,000 drops. What Wang Yi is most satisfied with is this set of exercises. It can maximize the value of holy water. After helping Qin Feiyu upgrade his sword bone, he used the sword holy water himself.